I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder, and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm ringing through it. The banjo gets on the beyond music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday.
Indubitably.
Yeah, it's going to be a warm day today.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like 94, but like even when I got to work today, like I was walking in and I'm like, it feels like a warmer morning this morning than previous morning.
Than in the last couple of days, yeah.
So it felt a little bit warmer today. So
It was still a, windows up morning though. Like I didn't have the window down.
It wasn't like, it was still crisp, but not as crisp. It was less crispy.
Yeah, slightly less crispy. It was original recipe.
Yeah. That reminds me, I think I've talked about this, but, I'm a radiophile, and one of the shows I used to listen to as a kid was the Don and Mike show, and they used to frequently play this clip of Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
And he was doing a radio commercial for KFC, and it's kind of some of the outtakes. And he says the word crusty so many times in that thing. Oh, we got the best, crustiest crust on the crusty crust chicken. I'm like, oh my God, it's that Colonel Sanders voice. And it's just one of those earworms that have been stuck in my head like for 30 years.
See, this gets us on that whole path because it was one of the last things that his name just left my head.
Casey Kasem?
No,
That's a famous
Optimus
one.
Prime.
Fontaine or whatever?
No,
that was the movie guy. I know who you're talking about. I just don't know the name. The voice.
It was he was recording a commercial for frozen peas for Green Giant.
Is he also the Green Giant guy?
No, it's not the Green Giant.
Oh, he
guy.
wasn't Ho Ho Ho?
Okay, you know what? It's too early to be this off the rails.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to bring it on the rails.
Let's bring it back onto the rails. I'm going to do
Actually, I've got some thoughts because I want to share some stuff I saw this morning. Thomas shared something with me and I went and checked out.
Okay.
Share with folks real quick. So I got a place to maybe help you sort some things out if you got, with all this water bill stuff going on and with, the repealing of it and, of course, the overcharging and all the stuff that's going on there. I know it's very confusing and there's a lot of stuff. Thank you to Carrie Moore. Of course, she's been on our show a bevy of times. Chaves County Health Council, amongst other organizations and things she's been on the show with over the years. But she did a great job of putting up on Facebook, and I'll tell you more about it here in a second. But she kind of did a thing that really explained the process. Like if you're confused about this, there's meetings coming up, and and she shows you how you can get on with the city to get notifications about these meetings, so you can get these explained. She's got a thing of the application up if you need to get a water credit or anything like that. So if you're kind of confused on that, she put up on a Facebook page, not hers. Well, I don't know about hers, but it's on another one. I'll tell you here in a second. All this information. So if you are a Facebook user, don't spend too much time on this page because you go nutty. But on the Roswell Freedom Talk page, it's a page that's been created on Facebook. It's actually Janine Best, who we also have on the show all the time. She's, I think, creator/moderator of that page there. And it's a great information page for people to kind of talk about issues and things in Roswell. So there's a lot of good nuggets of information on this page, but be warned, there's a sea of silliness in between and a lot of, it's like any community thing. There's some good stuff and a whole lot of people just saying things that you're just like, all right, calm
That
down.
true. But also, if you see a post that's talking about like a great job opportunity
Oh, yeah, it's usually
or a
these
house
scams.
for rent
Yeah.
that has a link in the comments,
It's usually a phishing scam.
it's a scam.
Yeah, stay away
Don't
from those.
click the link. It's always going to sound, it's going to be like granite countertops, and they're like $700 a month. Pets are welcome.
Duct cleaning.
HUD available.
Yeah, a lot of duct cleaning ones on there.
I don't know how I feel about the chimney sweep guy because he's popped up 3 or 4 times, and now he's like, people are keep commenting that I'm a scammer and yada yada.
Well, I've seen a couple different ones, so
Yeah.
I don't think some. I'm not claiming one is and one isn't. I've just seen several, and I know all of them are only up and up.
Is there really a market for chimney sweeps in the Roswell area? I mean, I know we have a lot of fireplaces, but
Well, you ever clean your own chimney?
no. But when's the last time you saw a dude in a stovepipe hat carrying one of those brooms?
If you frequently use your fireplace, depending on it, at least once a season, you should do it. If you're using it on the regular, it's All I know is when I was a kid, we had a chimney fire.
Yeah.
In my house. Now, thank God, didn't burn anything down in the fire, but I remember it was close to Halloween, and me and Chris were carving pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened with Dad and them, and they said, call the fire department. There's a chimney fire or something. And then so we all went out, the fire department, the whole neighborhood's watching, everything else. They're up in my room because it's on the second floor, and the chimney is adjacent to my room. So they're knocking posters and filling, and they didn't dig any holes and everything, but they were shooting water down
Mike's
the chimney and all.
Please don't find my box. Please don't find my hidden box.
I was much younger, so I didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
I wasn't quite into the
We
teenage.
found your treasures, Michael.
Teenagedom yet, but yeah. So I just remember. So I've always been like, nah, you should probably. As a guy that experienced a little bit of that, you probably should have that done on the regular.
Boy, then call your chimney sweep, then, Gov. But the point is.
Yeah. So anyway, yes. Now that being said. Yes, there's Carrie Moore. It's posts under her Facebook page or her whatever you call that.
Yeah.
Her handle or whatever it is.
Her profile.
Thank you. And so I invite that, and they're towards the top of the wall there at the Freedom Talk page. So I invite you to check out and read those. There's 2 of them up there. One that's talking more about the application and what you do here, but scroll down a little farther, and that's talking about the meetings and all that. And it's a lot to take in because I started to read it, and I didn't want to read all to you guys. Otherwise, we'd be here for 3 hours. But there's some good stuff there for you to read. Now, that being said, like we were talking about and the other stuff, I was scrolling through there, and this one I just wanted to educate a little bit on folks on this one. Of course, someone put up there, longshoremen going on strike. Stock up. And then, of course, I'm seeing online people, back east especially, toilet paper shelves, water, the whole COVID thing.
I heard that. People like, we're hoarding toilet paper again?
Yeah, okay.
What?
Let me just clarify some stuff for folks if you're a little confused on longshoremen strike here. Okay, if you're not familiar, longshoremen, they're the guys and gals that control what goes in and out of the seaports on the east and west coast of the United States.
Sure.
Everything that comes in via ship. So things like bread, milk, toilet paper, these are things that are all produced in country that go directly from farm to table to warehouse to table. They're not getting on a boat coming from somewhere else to get here. For the most part.
I was like, you don't use that Chinese toilet paper?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So you don't have to worry about stocking up on water, bread, milk, toilet paper at the grocery stores and start pandemic 2 here or whatever.
Right.
We don't need to do that because none of that stuff is impacted by the longshoreman strike. Now, here's where you need to be concerned with the longshoreman strike. Everything that comes into this country and goes out of this country, for the most part, comes in on boats.
Yep.
Some of it comes through air travel, but not a whole lot.
It's a lot more expensive that way.
Exactly. So, Christmas might be tricky. If you're looking for electronics, the latest games, the latest in all of that kind of stuff,
Right.
good luck getting that stuff. Now, unfortunately, places like Asian Market, they're going to be impacted because 99.999% all of our stuff comes from overseas. Some of it may come via air. What I'm thinking happens, it comes via boat to New York or whatever, then comes via air to here. So places like that will be very impacted. Any place that deals in imported goods. If you're looking for things, Temu folks.
I was just going to say your Temu order is going to be even longer than you thought it was.
Yeah, things like that are going to be a problem. But you getting eggs, you getting toilet paper, you getting water, you're going to be fine
I'm
there.
I'm just imagining a scenario where there's one of those Ever Given gigantic barges that's just carrying eggs. We've got to get these eggs to America.
Yeah. Your hamburger, all those kinds of things now. Mm-hmm. Like you said, your foreign stuff. Like if you live solely on Asian cuisine, you might be in trouble here. That's all I'm saying. But if you're going to be able to eat. You're going to be able to wipe your tail. You're going to be able to do all of these things with relatively normal ease, as much as you have ease of that now.
If you do have trouble finding toilet paper, contact me. I have access to 3 shells. We can solve this whole problem.
So I just want to, kind of dispel and clear some of the people, because I get it. And then we live in that world. Everyone's like, oh, this is alarms. Sky's falling. The Chicken Littles come out and do their thing. And I saw that when I was scrolling through. I was like, all right, just so you guys know, long short, yes, there's going to be some impacts, but you will have water, you will have toilet paper, you will have bread.
Right.
So,
by the way,
yes,
it was Orson Welles that I was trying to think the name of.
Okay, Orson Welles. Wait, he was an Optimus Prime.
He was the first voice of, like, I want to say, I
thought he passed
in
away
the original, original Transformers.
Okay, I was gonna say, he was dead probably by the time Transformers got big.
No, by the time, but like the original like movie or one of those, he was the voice of
the cartoon, maybe.
Yeah. He was a voice of Optimus Prime.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't a live action. They didn't put his
I'm
fat keister
talking
in the suit.
I'm talking the 30-minute cartoon that came on every day or whatever.
Yeah, but it was like a movie that came out in like 81 or something like that, and he'd recorded his lines like right before he died.
Okay.
So, anyways,
yes.
It was the point I was getting at was he was recording a commercial for frozen food, frozen peas or something like that, and he kept getting tripped over the phrase crumb crisp coating.
I can see how that happens.
He just kept falling over crumb crisp coating.
I'm sure, like me, as a guy that speaks in microphones making commercials, there are days where a pairing of words or a phrasing of words, I've had like almost, I'd say once a week, I get in here and cut an ad, and there's a line that just will not come out of my mouth.
I had to change
without it just getting all, it just doesn't flow.
Here's a fun one for you, kids. If you're listening to our commercials and you hear one for the Roswell Symphony Orchestra, understand how much I struggled in saying, gearing up for the 66th season. Yeah. I struggle saying it that slow. I had to change the whole wording of it. So now it says warming up because it was like
too many G's.
It was the way it was worded in the script. It would it would not come out of my mouth. Yeah. So I just had to change it to we're warming up for the 66th season of the Roswell Symphony Orchestra.
Great googly moogly. But so I understand. So, but that's fun. All right, let me give you the rundown. We got to get the show to go. We're going to replay some interviews with you today. All you folks looking to make your kitchens and bathrooms looking good, we're going to replay our interview. We had Jason Allison from Allison's Home Supply join us. He also brought along some of his guys, Eric, Jesus, and Chewy. And they're his cabinet and countertop folks.
Nice.
So we talk about Allison's. A lot of people know about carpet, flooring, and all that. And yeah, they got you. They got your feet covered. But they do bathroom, kitchen remodels. They do all kinds of stuff. If you need supplies for an addition, they got you covered there. So we had a great conversation talking about cabinetry, countertops, all that good stuff. So we'll play that for you here in just a few. Robert Sherman with the Walker Aviation Museum joined us on Monday to give us an update there. We'll play that for you in the 8 o'clock hour. And then also on Monday, we had the doctors, Keon and Sarah from Carabelli Gentle, join us talking teeth and give us an update on some of the things they've got going on. And so we'll play that for you about 9:15 this morning.
Personally, I really think they should have gone with their original name idea. Toothtown?
Toothtown. We're going to Toothtown.
We're going there. Take me to Toothtown.
I know. We're going. And then the music. I've seen Anchorman one too many times. All right, 7:19. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today, low 90s on the afternoon high. The wind should stay light, though, and we'll get plenty of sunshine with that big high-pressure system still parked over our area. Clear in mid-50s for the overnight hours. Slightly cooler on Friday, upper 80s and sunny, and then right around 90 with sunshine Saturday and Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 41%. Winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Sunny and warm today, 94. I think it hadn't been this warm since Monday. But winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight, looking at an overnight low of 57. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, a little cooler tomorrow. Sunny, 87 for a high, down in the upper 80s. Always a good thing. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies, overnight low of 56 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. For the weekend, Saturday, sunny and 91. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny and 92 on Sunday. And then looking at next week, upper 80s for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So it looks like we'll be floating around upper 80s, close to 90 for at least the first half of next week. Don't forget, fair continues. Another big concert night, Taylor Swift fans. You're going to want to get out there tonight for their Taylor Swift tribute and all of that. Rides, go another great day out at the fair. Get out there, rides and all that. The commercial building starts opening up about 4 o'clock, and then shows and stuff will take over later in the evening rides. So another great evening out at the fair. Of course, don't forget all the livestock shows. You can watch them on our website, ksvptv.com, in the Eastern New Mexico State Fair channel. We'll have them for you live and on demand. So if you're at work or whatever, or have out-of-town friends and family can't be at those shows in person, we got them there. And if you missed any from earlier in the week, they're up there on the website now. All right, 7:21. We're going to take a quick 2.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Jason Allison and Allison's Home Supply, and with Eric Jesus and Chewy as well. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers Vera Main Taramina passed away on September 21st. Rosary will be Friday, October 4th, 9:30 a.m. at St. Peter's Catholic Church, with Mass following the Rosary at 10 a.m. and to be placed in St. Peter's Columbrium following Mass. Donald Burden passed away September 14th. Rosary will be Saturday, October 5th, 9:30 a.m. at St. Peter's Catholic Church, with Mass following the Rosary at 10 a.m. and to be placed in St. Peter's Columbrium. Ben Smith passed away September 24th. Service will be Saturday, October 5th, 10 a.m. at Grace Community Church. James Seeley passed away September 28th, and services are pending at this time. There are no services scheduled at this time at LaGrone Funeral Chapel. This has been today's Remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
At Artesia General Hospital, we know it's early, but schedule your mammogram today and save. Call 855-RAD-EXAM and save 10% off mammograms scheduled through October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And get a refreshing drink discount from Kith & Kin in Artesia or Blue House in Carlsbad. We use leading-edge, FDA-approved Genius 3D mammography technology to deliver more accurate results faster and with more comfort. Women over 40 do not need a referral for yearly screenings. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, technically not Jason Allison and the Allison. I was trying to sell like a whole band thing going on, but not today. He brought,
we can do that though too.
He brought his business family today, not his blood family too.
Yep.
So.
There'll be someone different every day.
So Jason's joining us this morning. Good morning, Jason.
How you doing?
And because we're going to talk some kitchen countertops and cabinetry and that world of things today, we have Chewy, Jesus, and Eric joining us as well, too. Some of your experts in the field of making sure your kitchens and bathrooms do and look and smell and sound and feel like kitchens and bathrooms.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. So welcome, guys. How you guys doing? So I guess you guys are happy because you kind of, this is like, you get to slack off for a little bit, right? Because normally you're out probably, working, either doing designs or laying out a kitchen or, knee deep in sawdust somewhere or something. So now you kind of like, hey, I'll get the air conditioning aside. Just for a little bit. Good deal. Well, talk, and that's something I think we kind of, like last time we had you guys on, we kind of did focus on the flooring and
store.
And carpet side of that, things which obviously is very much part of Allison's and Abby's and the whole umbrella of the business here. But yes, there's this whole side that you remodel kitchens, bathrooms. If you need material for bigger projects, that's all under the umbrella of Allison's too. And so if you've been thinking about, it's time for me to, last time these countertops were replaced, I'm pretty sure George Clinton, or not George Clinton, Bill Clinton was president. George Clinton was popular, and Bill Clinton was president. You know what I mean? So you're thinking, all right, maybe it's time to upgrade these things. And that's where your guys, and that's where you guys come in and start working your magic, doing your thing here. So I'm kind of curious, like what kind of stuff do you see when it comes to kitchens? I mean, what kind of requests? What's kind of the stuff that people are generally looking for when it comes to kitchens and bathrooms? What's kind of like the trends, or just what people are looking to see in a what would be a modern kitchen or bathroom?
The trend right now, everybody, it's still popular, white.
White.
But people are starting to go into more of the browns, the grays, the blues.
Okay. So we're kind of getting a little bit more earthy tones back
colorful.
into that kind of thing. I always kind of like, me myself, like generally, because, like if you're doing houses and if you're like into flipping and reselling, those tones, those kind of neutral tones generally are more, people are less likely to want to tear up or want to replace. They kind of, all right, that's good. I can live with this, kind of thing. So that's kind of nice to see that. Now, white is a great thing, but I ain't gonna lie,
it's boring.
It's boring, but and quite frankly, it kind of like when that spaghetti stain, you forget to clean it, it's gonna be there a while. If you're a messy person, you want something that conceals and hides.
It's a kitchen. It's gonna get messy.
It's job. The two messiest rooms in the house: bathroom, kitchen. It's just facts. That's what happens there. So, so what about materials? Because this is something when we talk about like particular countertops, and you hear everything from like granite, and everyone's like, ooh, granite, but there's a lot between granite and, I don't know, plywood. I mean, you know what I mean? There is, and all of it, because I think in most people's head, we think granite, we think that's our Armani, our Gucci, our high-end stuff. And you're not wrong. It absolutely is. But there's equally high-end stuff like that that's not granite or not anything. And that's kind of where I'm curious. It's like there are so many options in countertops nowadays that I think it kind of make your head spin if you don't really, if you don't, you know what I mean? You kind of got to buckle down a little bit and decide what you want.
Oh, yeah, no. So for countertops, the biggest two materials, quartz and granite. Granite, all natural, beautiful. A lot of people don't know this. You have to seal it.
Sure.
Every 6 months.
Every piece is different.
Oh, yeah. And then every piece is different. You might get a chunk that's got a lot of veining. You might, a little bit down the line, you might not.
And generally, so that's one of the few materials that you probably want to go down to the store and look at physically, because you want to see the marbling, you want to see how the character of it. So
which I'm glad you brought that up. We do carry in stock granite and quartz.
Okay, so if you want to come down and touch it, feel it, and, well, within reason. If you get too gross, we'll have you. But you know what I mean.
We have 60 slabs in stock now, right?
Oh yeah,
good deal. So if you want to come and see and of course you can picture. Like you can let you guys kind of lay the design, the layout and stuff. But if you've got a vision in your head on colors and all that, you just tell Eric, tell the guys here, and you guys punch your numbers in, work your magic here. So kind of if you want to come down and be like, Because I imagine you probably get some people that fall in love with a certain pattern of granite, and they say, design the whole kitchen around this granite countertop, right?
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what, so if you're looking for inspiration, maybe that's how you get it, or that quartz countertop or whatever out there. If you're looking for more affordable options, that's the thing, too. You can get great quality, but not have to pay that granite countertop price.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of options there on that.
And we have that in stock. We have 1 to 5 on granites and 1 to 7 in quartz.
Okay. Very good.
And then we're getting into the solid surface, which will be your even more economic stuff. That stuff it's higher grade than laminate, but it's really cheap but really good quality.
Sure. And I imagine, too, is some of the questions you want to ask is what you're doing in this kitchen. Because obviously, if you're doing a lot of cutting and things, maybe you want to design countertops that are mean to that. Maybe you want to build some of that into it where you're like, well, I can cut directly on this countertop with this style of countertop, or create a section of it where you allow those kind of things. You might want to be careful because cutting boards are something that you have to replace often and frequently because of germ things. So you might want to think about that. But anyway, if that's the stuff to talk to these guys about and do those things. But I'm kind of curious, when you talk to quartz and granite, I mean, obviously looks are different, but as far as like the functionalities of it, do they, or does one, because I know sometimes people, because you're putting hot pans and cold things, and not all materials react the same to those kind of things. How do those, like quartz and granite, how do they handle as far as wear and tear? Are they both pretty, you can beat them up pretty good, or are they more, you got to be a little more, baby them a bit?
So granite, that sucker, you can put a hot crock pot on that thing. It'll take anything you give it.
Gotcha.
Like I said, the biggest thing is you have to seal it. A lot of people don't like that maintenance. With quartz, it's a little bit more it's scratch resistant. It's not scratch proof.
Right. Like you're going up there on your knife, it's going to leave a mark, but if you accidentally, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving.
Now with that one, though, however, heat is one of the biggest factors.
So you don't want to be putting your hot stoves. You want to put down those hot pots or whatever they call those.
You want to put some kind of buffer between you and your countertop so that you don't accidentally shock the color or crack it.
And what we'll do a lot of times for our customers that are adamant on like quartz, we'll make them a couple cutting boards.
Okay.
And we'll set them over there, and then they want to set that right off the stove. They want to set it on there. Then they're not damaging the countertop.
Yeah.
And we'll do that for no charge.
Excellent. So that way you can kind of, because if you're kind of an absent-minded in nature, I get it. Especially if you're in the zone, man. You're in there doing your thing, and you're chefing it up, and beans flying, everything's going. You ain't got time to be neat.
Well, a lot of customers, they want that clean, they want that marble, that nostalgia look of the older homes, where that marbling, but it's a clean white look.
Sure.
And that's where quartz comes in, and it suffices that. And marble would scratch so easy.
Sure.
So that's why the quartz, I love quartz in that aspect.
Sure. Well, and I think, and like you were talking about white and colors, but see, okay, if you go white with the countertop, great. But then you got to put the color in the cabinets. You know what I mean? That's where, okay, if you're going to go white there, then we got to put the pop in the cabinet. So we'll call this a segue. When we talk about the cabinet side of things, how different, because to me, I'm like, all right, maybe the wood's different. Designs are a little different, but I mean, like how different can you get in this world? Does the woods make a thing? I mean, you're like, I want pine or oak or whatever, do people, does it get as picky in the material as it would be on the countertop for the actual counters or the actual cabinets and everything else?
So to keep it simple, there's pretty much two materials.
Okay.
There's engineered wood and there's plywood.
Okay.
Engineered wood, cheap wood, particle board. You pay what you get.
So there ain't guys out like looking for driftwood or finding the perfect oak tree out in the forest to build.
There is faces of the cabinet, which the majority of our cabinet face is birch.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the frames, which Eric's talking about, is the body of the cabinet.
The part you don't see. The part that's the structure, the part that's got to last for years. Where you don't really care what it's made of as long as it holds up.
And we're proud of that because we've searched for the companies that give us a good quality plywood.
Sure.
We don't sell particle board in any of our lines.
Gotcha.
So we're proud of that. And the bigger box stores,
Well, that's always a sign, and I'm not saying, you hit a certain thing in life, particle board's what you got, but you do. As you advance in life, and I'm telling you right now, anything, and it's no different when you go to a furniture store. You go to the back and you see particle board. All right, that's a sign this is not the best quality furniture. That's what Jason's saying, isn't it? Yeah, well, no. You're not going to peel back the curtain and see particle board. You're going to see sound structured materials that are built to last as long as you want it to.
Yeah. And the problem with particle board, you put a screw in it, it cracks.
Absolutely. Splinters.
Any little moisture, it swells.
Sure.
I mean,
there's a place for it and everything
Yes.
else, but when you're trying to create lasting, things that generational type stuff, this is where you want to invest in. And the beauty of everything we're talking about here, everything you're about to do in that kitchen or bathroom is an investment back in you.
Yes.
That's when this is all the stuff that you get your money back in when you sell that house, especially if you keep it up. And actually, you get more. I'm telling you. If you have an outdated kitchen and you just update it, you could probably get thousands more on your resale value there, because that's one less thing that person's going to do. Because what might happen, what more odds would happen is they'll go talk to Allison's after they bought the house from you. And then they go put the kitchen they want in there. But and bathrooms are the same way. When it comes to having the right sinks and counters and all the bathroom remodeled, the tubs and the amenities in there, that is what sells a house. And they walk through the house, they ain't looking. Just saying, most people are like, ooh, that wall's ugly, I can fix that. But you know what I mean. But they look at the tub and like, oh, look at that tub, or look at that sink. Yep, that's what I want this house. I want it right now, and that's what people do. So yes, your kitchen and your bathroom is kind of your showcase of your house, and that's what sells, and that's what creates value in your home. So anytime you're talking to Allison's here about upgrading those parts of your home, it's guarantee you're investing back into yourself. So if when you put granite countertops in, or you're like, you're gonna get that money back. That money comes back to you when you sell that house, guaranteed. That's why you pay for the granite countertops, because you will get your money back, because it's like you said, it's designed to live longer than you.
Oh yeah. And that's why we're doing everything. And we're here for the customer. We don't plan on going anywhere.
Sure.
And we want that to last.
Absolutely.
We want that longevity. And we want you to get bids other places. We want you to bring us those bids, and we want to show you the difference.
You would be stupid if you didn't, because let's face it, everything we're talking about is investment in your home, and you're going to want to get the most bang for your buck. That's what all humans do.
Yep.
Would you like to pay more for less? Yeah, that sounds delightful. No one says that. So you're right. Do your homework. Go online, check your and guess what? What Jason's saying, you're going to come back and see for the money and the quality and the value and the work, pound for pound, you're going to get the best.
And Eric, I don't have to babysit Eric. When people come into the store, he knows. He knows the products. He's brought in 3 different lines.
So he's back goofing off in the office while you're busting home.
Yeah.
That's code. I know that. He's kicked back. He's watching ESPN. I know. I love lumberjacking at 2 PM.
Hey, shh.
I kid, of course.
But that's why my office is so far away from me.
Can't hear the cheering. But if you don't mind, explain the process. Like, say someone calls today and said, you know what, I really would like a kitchen remodel. Kind of talk me through, from that phone call till the day they're cooking on that stove.
Yeah. So, of course, I would take your information down. I would send one of these gentlemen right here, Chewy or Jesus. They'd go out. They'd measure your kitchen, your countertops, your layout, everything.
Gotcha.
You would come into the store. We talk cabinetry. You pick out your style, your color, countertop, what material, color, your sink, everything.
Just kind of what you like, what you don't like, and then you offer your suggestions and opinions, and they'll either agree or say, no, I want orange or whatever whatever they want here.
And I've had some crazy requests, so I've heard I've heard everything.
If you guys were alive in the late 70s, you would have heard brown and oranges or quite a popular request for kitchens and bathrooms.
Coming back.
Yeah, they starting to make the comeback here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the greens are back. The blues.
It's more like, it's not really like a green. It's like a pine green or like a
sage.
Sage green. There it is. Yeah, that's that. Like, watch an episode of the Brady Bunch and look at that kitchen, which is an amazing kitchen. Like, I'd still kill for that kitchen even to this day. I mean, that dude was an architect, and he laid out a pretty cool looking kitchen there.
We take out kitchens and bathrooms. They're like, oh, that's nice, but they don't like it.
Well, it's outdated, and it is, and but sometimes but then there's timeless, and that's where like certain things like granite, that's where we're getting back. That's timeless. Like you will never hear a period of time as long as we're all alive where someone's saying, "Oh, granite, that was so last year." No one's saying that, or no one will ever say that.
And there's such cool ones right now. There's your honed and your unhoned. So it's backwards of what you think. With honed, you would think it's smooth, right? But it's actually like cultured.
Okay.
So it's like a matte finish.
Okay.
And
it's more shiny versus more earthy.
It's less shiny.
Yeah,
it's
I got you.
texture to it.
But I mean, that's kind of the popular. Some people want that gloss. Some people want more of a earthy look.
And it's weird because you got your modern, which people are going with, but it's like a rustic because you have the uneven surface, and that's what's cool about going down and looking at the slab and picking your slab because you can feel it, touch it, mark it, and that goes to your house.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's what people want right now.
It's like picking your Christmas tree or whatever. It's like it's yours, and it's your piece. You can come back and visit it later if you want.
It's comfort though because you're making a big decision.
Absolutely.
And
this is a huge decision. And just now, and then as far as the inconvenient part of this, because unfortunately, anytime you're replacing kitchens or bathrooms, there's going to be an inconvenient time. It just is. What's that like? So when we decide, we picked the colors, we picked everything, we're gonna start getting to work. What's now? Obviously, every job is different depending on the amount of work. But for a complete kitchen remodel, what's the average turnaround time from tearing in to you're in there doing your thing?
Well, we're proud of that. So, like your basic kitchen remodel, like a whole kitchen remodel.
Yeah.
That typically would take 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
With moving a lot of things.
Sure.
We can do it in 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. So you can do it almost half the time, basically.
Yeah. And that helps us because now on 19th, our new warehouse, one of our new warehouses is strictly our fabricating and cabinet and fabricating
because
shop.
Everything's in-house for much of it. It speeds up, like, in case you know. I mean, yes, we are in the post-COVID world, but still try to get material in this world. It is still crazy, expensive.
Yes.
And still turnaround times are not exactly to your liking right now.
And that's the thing. You promise a customer you're going to be done at a date, you better do it.
They don't care.
Yep.
They don't care about your problems. And I get it.
Yep.
That's life. You're like, I paid thousands and thousands of dollars. I want it now. And that's how people see things. And I get it. You're making a big investment. You're like, no, I want, it's no different than a car. You buy a brand new car. It's like, I just paid $50,000. I want the car right now. And like, we gotta work on it for 2 weeks. Hold on. People don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's in essence what you're telling them.
Because we had
the wait is so worth it.
We had a fabricator I worked with for 20 years out of Clovis. Awesome guy, good guy. It's just he worked a lot in Hobbs, and it would hold us up, and it held our time frame up all the time.
Sure.
We would meet our deadline on cabinetry, and then we'd be set back 2 to 3 months.
But there's a place for those people too. They're the artists in your world. Those are the guys you contract and you say, like your tile work and stuff.
These two down on the end are artists.
That's what you guys do. Do you do tile work and stuff too?
They do it all.
Oh man, I'm actually a little jealous because I'm like the patience, like to do tile work. Like, do you guys do the stuff where you're making the designs and you're cutting the little triangle? Have you do that kind of work too sometimes?
We can get to that.
Yeah, okay. The
get to that. Yeah.
To be able to do that is to me is a talent that I'm a little envious of because I mean I have the desire, I don't have the patience. Like if it's getting off, I'm going to be the guy that, and then, you know what I mean?
Just throw it all away.
I'm a 7-year-old, that's me. And so I'm a little envious of your ability to be able to do that.
Is make good job for the customer, and the granite cabinet is have more experience for years. So for the people is comfort working for the company.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
And that's true artisan work. I mean, because it's always one of a kind. There's no two or never. You know, I mean, it'd be impossible. They'd have to be robots for that.
Yeah. And the first time for making the granite or countertop, the first time is making the template, everything. I like the company make a template.
Yeah.
Okay, everything, angles, walls, everything.
So for you, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's more better.
He's like, shoot, I had to eyeball this before. Now it's like I plug and play, man. It's like Legos, works right in and fits right together.
It's
and all
puzzle
that
pieces, and you're going to get quality from the get-go.
Having the right tools and the right stuff is always the difference between a wonderful job and a pain in the neck to get.
Oh, we even have the table that sets it up on the cabinets now. It's
Excellent.
a little robot.
Okay, man, so
It's
you guys are
pretty cool.
pretty high tech. Because this is where, unless you're in the industry, you don't think it. I'm like, what? You got a bunch of hammers and
Yeah, but I
nails
don't
and
need
some
you and Jesus' back pulled up.
Yeah,
I don't even drop a slab and break their foot.
Work smarter, not harder. I was in the United States Air Force. People make fun of us, but that's our motto. And we did, you call us chair force, you can do all that stuff. But say what you want. I'm all about technology.
Yeah, and
certain
he
things.
takes care of us really good. I appreciate that. He's bought us a bunch of stuff that he's taking care of our backs, and we'll take care of his work too. And that's
and that's another, and and I always tell people, how long have you guys been working for Jason? Just was curious.
A couple months now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pretty new. How about yourself, Eric?
About 4 or 5 months now. Too.
Okay, so you guys are pretty new, and you're already singing those praises. That's pretty great.
From the get-go, he's been taking care of us.
Excellent.
He shot us up on caffeine every morning.
That's our motto, though. It's not about I, it's about we.
Well, and to be honest, as a person that when you're shopping, especially for stuff like this, getting an upgrade or getting a contract work done, basically, here, trust is a big thing, and so you gotta use your own instinct sometimes, because obviously Jason's going to tell you whatever he's got to tell you to get you. Because I'm a good guy, trust me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they all say that, even the not good guys, weirdly enough. But so you have to look to evidence, and what I'd say is talking to other people. But employees are a big thing. If the employees are happy and they're talking about that stuff, odds are that translates, because that means that Jason's actually saying he's a good guy and proving he's a good guy, because you know what I'm saying. You get I'm a good guy, but then their employees are like waiting to bolt at the chance they can get the better job. That's a red flag. So for you guys sitting here unsolicited, by the way, sucking up to the boss right now, it speaks volumes about what I'm talking about here, and the quality of the work and things that we're talking about here. So what I'm trying to tell you is use your spidey senses. These are the kind of things you pick up on to find out if you're dealing with a good contract work type like this. And so that's kind of the point. And by the way, when we talk with contract work, Jason and Allison's is right down the street in a building that's not going away anytime soon. So
yes, sir.
You get that reliability that that the work's getting done. If you're not happy, there's someone here that you can talk to and get it done right. They're not going to disappear after the job's done, or after you paid them, and because unfortunately in this industry that we're talking about here, there's so many horror stories of people knocking on doors, collecting thousands of dollars, and you never hear from them again.
We see it every day.
The answer to fix that, talk to
Jason
Allison.
Allison.
Yeah. Talk to Allison.
You'll get responsibility, and that's our name, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so in that industry now more that so I know I'm joking and all that, but for you guys to say what you said does speak volumes, and that's why I'm trying to point that out to people. It's like in the world where shady is not uncommon, this is what you use to find to weed that out.
But
that's like our team though. Like we don't practice. We don't practice on people's home. Everyone that's in this team, our whole team of 40 people, they're all been in that game for a long time.
Sure, they've had that night.
Yes,
where it's 2 a.m. and something's squirting out of something, and some wood's not. You know what I mean? Something like the glue's already dried, the paint's the wrong color, the tile's crooked, whatever it is. Yeah. You've had that night.
No, and I think you guys all own it.
Well, it happens. I mean, if you guys, let's face it. Sometimes, you always hear measure twice, cut once. Sometimes you should have measured 3 times. It
5 times.
We're imperfect.
Yep. So, what's the best way to kind of get the process started? You can always walk into Allison's here on 2nd Street. Yep. What's the actual physical? I don't have it in front of me here. What's the
216?
Okay, you come on in, come by there. Go, and this is what I do. If you can Google, to be honest, Google the words Allison's Carpet. You'll find the website real quick. It'll pop right up on the first thing there, and then you can go to the website and you can see everything we're talking about here. All of their services. You can kind of even make an appointment if you want to kind of, let's talk material. Let's sit down with Eric and start picking material and picking colors and picking all that good stuff. And, start that process today. Or if you just have questions. If you're like, man, I want to do this, but I am so naive in this. Can you please walk me through this? they'll be happy to sit down and talk. I mean, do you even get into cases where it gets into heavier? Because sometimes, like, people say, I love my kitchen, but I want my sink here instead of here.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you got to move. That's sometimes easy, sometimes not, depending on where the plumbing. Depending on where the plumbing. So I just know, is that pretty much a common thing where you're like, all right, you know, because like, or bathrooms, or like, I love the bathtub here, but it'd be better over there. You know what I mean?
That's what I've said before. I've had some weird requests where I'll educate the customer.
Sure.
And if they insist they want it that way, then
Sure.
okay,
Well,
we'll do it.
But sometimes they'll do it, but it may not be. They're going to explain it to you. They'll be like, look, I can move that, but you know how many thousands of dollars it's going to cost to move that pipe from here to here? We'll be happy to do it if you're willing to pay for it, but I'm warning you right now, there is a cost to that, and that's just the cost of what it takes to move that pipe from here to here, between the material, the concrete we're going to have to break up, the pipe we're going to have to you know, it's a lot of moving parts there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be happy to do it to you, but I'm warning you, it's a can of worms.
You got customers that they have a sink in front of a window, which when you're washing dishes, you want to look out a window.
Sure.
And they'll want to move it to a blank wall. And I'm like, are you sure? Me and Eric will tell them, are you sure you want to look at a wall? That's what I want. That's what you want? We'll give it to you.
Yeah. They don't want to put a mirror there.
Some people don't want to be seen doing dishes.
Le vamos a decir
I don't blame them.
que ninguna cocina, todas las cocinas de los sueños de las personas, Allison Company las puede diseñar.
Whatever.
All right, Eric, translate.
Jesus is saying whatever. Chewy is saying whatever your dream kitchen is, we will get it done.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Allison Company, do it.
And you'll tell. You can tell an Allison kitchen to other kitchens.
The other guys.
You're going to be able to tell.
See that quality.
Because of the
You see
quality's
that.
there.
Mhm.
The quality will be there. The time, you'll see the passion, the tears, the sweat you put into that kitchen instead of just getting thrown together, you know?
G was curious. I don't know why. I'm just curious. What's, like, do you have favorite materials or favorite things you like? Is there certain...
different, like, I have favorite colors I like to work with.
Okay.
Like the cabinet,
I didn't know...
like the cabinetry, like...
Yeah.
I love working with some different colors, but the countertops for me personally, it'd be quartz.
Okay. I was just curious. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Quartz
is
to me
more
is-
fun to play with, or I'm just from that perspective. I was
Just
curious
personal
what's-
opinion. Quartz to me
Yeah.
is but you know, granite's always there's some granite colors like ooh maybe I'll switch
Well,
over.
granite's-
But,
granite's
Quartz
king.
is harder to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, quartz is a little bit, you know, so it's kind of more of a challenge for you, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
no,
because
yeah.
you gotta,
And-
because let's face it, people that have quartz, they want granite look on quartz money. So you got to make that happen.
And I can give them that too.
and you make that happen, and that's the beauty of quartz. It's durable, it does good stuff, but you can create as fancy as you want. But at the same time, if you don't have the thousands of dollars it costs for the countertops, because you can easily blow your budget on a countertop.
Yeah, you can.
And so let out. And so if your budget's tight, maybe, and that's the other thing. We're talking the top stuff here. There's a lot of great quality materials that don't come with those price tags, that you'll get the durability and still the beauty you want. But, you know, it's okay. So it's not granite, but maybe, maybe it's another material, Formica or some of these other, lower cost, equally durable materials that they can.
And you have other companies, I'm not going to say in Roswell, but there's other companies that push quartz for various reasons, or they push granite for various reasons, and because it's easier to fabricate depending on which product it is.
Gotcha.
And they don't educate the customer, and it was totally wrong. And I've never seen a customer as mad as whenever they're educated wrong on a solid surface.
Because it's always an expensive fix.
Yeah.
When it comes to bathrooms and kitchens. That is when you make a mistake there, that's usually an expensive mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So that's why you want to get it right the first time. That's why letting Eric and let Chewy, let these guys do their magic on you and talk to you and sit down. Let Eric sit down and go all over and draw the designs, get on the computer and move where and colors to want, and let these guys go there and execute.
And you can visualize it with Eric. Eric makes it a reality.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and the technology is really much more realistic. It's not like the early ones where it looked kind of like you're watching Bugs Bunny cartoons and you're like, oh, that's a chair. Now it actually looks like your kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like photos and, VR stuff. The same technology that makes, Donald Trump saying whatever over here is the same technology they're using to make your kitchen.
And he's good at it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's real good at it. And I ain't just, we're blessed all three of these guys and all of our guys, we're blessed to have them because they all have a certain aspect in the company of what they do, and they make it run smooth.
Well, I imagine all three of you are creative types, right? Like you like to create, like you look at things and you see things. I imagine
yourself.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I imagine in your own personal time, you're probably one of those guys that you'll look at something and say, I could make a table out of that, or I could do something with that. You know what I mean? So this is what you guys live for and what you enjoy, your passion. So let that go, and at some point your family's probably telling, all right, that's enough, man. You've done enough of this. And so you're like, I will do it for the community. So here we are.
What's good too is like Eric designs. Like I'll go out a lot of times with the guys and we'll do the layout.
Yeah.
And I'll catch something or the guys will catch something. So there's a bunch of hands, and usually Eric's with us on the first day too. So we got 3 people looking at a project. And if there's a mistake, we're usually going to catch it.
Sure. It's a 3-headed monster. Or in this case, a 3-headed professor looking at it.
Because you make a mistake, if it's one guy, you're going to make a mistake.
Sure. Well, and let's face it, everything, I mean, yes, you're talking precision and functionality, but you're also talking aesthetics and opinion.
Yeah.
And let's face it, I'm sure there's 4 of you here. All 4 of you like different things. All 4 of you are going to think that, imagine you're going to look at something and 2 of you might think that's pretty, 2 of you might think that's god awful, or vice versa. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But then you have the thing, and then you argue like, I get what your point is, but when you put it with that, then it works. You know what I mean? And that's the conversations you guys are having.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, I've watched enough of those HGTV shows and stuff that that's where those arguments like, okay, I know this is not the rule, but when you apply it this way and you bend the rule, it does work here. And that's where you guys get into the design phase. And it's like, okay, we can take the rules. Once you know the rules, then you can bend them at your will. Art is like that. And design is very much like that too. Certain colors aren't supposed to go together, but I can make them go together if you do it this way.
Yep.
And that's where the design and the creating, and quite frankly, probably the fun part for you guys is creating that challenge, is telling people, it's no different than chefs. And they're like, you should not put chocolate on a steak. And one chef's going, hold my beer. I'm going to get chocolate on this steak, and you're going to lick it off in the butt. And then it's no different here, And so that's so come put it to the test. Come check it out. Come tour. Come, and oh, by the way, if you still need carpet or tile or any of that kind of stuff,
we got you.
They got you covered. Come on in. But if you're looking for other aspects of the home, or let's face it, you're ready to do the addition, or thinking, hey, I'm going to add on here. I need the material. Come on down. Talk to Allison.
And we got financing now.
Good deal.
We'll get you finance in 10 minutes,
That's
up
right.
to 100,000.
That's right. So they got guys in the back. They're like I'm just kidding. They're mafia guys. They lump. I'm just kidding. You don't pay it, they send them out. I'm kidding.
we have a joke at the store. Eric goes,
you got the VIG. They start using terms like VIG, and you're like, what? Just kidding.
It's important that the financing. I wanted to bring that up today too.
Absolutely.
Because people come in and say they have a budget for $30,000, which we can do a kitchen, even a big kitchen. In that we have the options.
Sure, you get creative, but it can be done. Yeah.
But then they're like, you know what? I want to go ahead in the middle of the remodel. They're like, I want to go ahead and I want to repaint the house, and I want to go ahead and redo the floors. And that loan that we have, you can use it for anything.
Okay.
So if you want to paint, it's not just material. So that's a big deal.
Absolutely. And again, like I mentioned earlier, all of that is technically an investment back in you.
Yep.
Because everything we're talking about here, you're going to get back whenever you sell that home. So.
Oh yeah.
And it's really good financing. A lot of it's 0%. It's insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in a world where 0% is still kind of a unicornish, that's pretty. You know what I mean? Like once COVID hit, 0% went what? Zero what? Yeah, zero chance of getting that.
We're excited about it.
And now it's starting to trickle back into the world again, and so it's good news to see that. So good. Is there anything we missed? I just saw the time. We were about to kick me off the radio here.
Chewy, just to tell me how many years you have an experience of doing cabinetry.
10 years.
10 years?
More, yeah.
Wow.
10, 12 years. Solid cabinets and granite too.
What's like? Do you have a favorite type of material to work with yourself? Do you like is there any preference?
He's working
okay.
Everything company. So.
I don't know if there's certain woods and things you're like, I want
maple woods all the same.
Come home, his hands all splintered up. Smooth wood.
Depends. Customer is the cabinet to do it.
Yeah. So come on and come. And you know what? If you come to the house and he doesn't eat much, so you don't have to give him a sandwich or nothing.
If I show up, that's a whole different story.
Eric's like, you better put a spread out. That's all I'm saying.
And the granny food is different. Look, the little sample for the granite or the quartz and little sample and pictures. So it's different. Look at the big slab.
Sure.
Person. So the customer is going to look at the slab. They have the colors. The cabinet. Put and the big glass is make the same or mesh. The colors is looking more better. So
and that's where kind of, like you said, we get back with Eric.
Yeah.
Because now you can look at it virtually before you guys have it up on the wall, and they're like, oh, wait. Yeah.
We want to make sure they match before we go in there. And
Exactly. So please, let the experience start the process today, or ask some questions, and let's get the ball rolling.
Yep.
But and I'm going to tell you this right now. When it comes to construction, if you need construction, now's the time to do it. If you're going to try to wait and pick and plot, it's kind of like if you need a house. If you need a house, you need a house. If you're trying to wait for interest rates to drop, you're going to wait a while. You know what I mean? So if you've been like, well, I'm waiting on this to pull the gun. You know what? There's always going to be something that hurts. And to be honest, it's not going to get cheaper. It's just the life.
Yep.
The cost of granite, the cost of these things are never going to get cheaper over time. They're always going to constantly. So if you're waiting for the right time's now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and start doing that because you need it now. So don't wait. If you're waiting for, I get it. If you're like, well, I'm waiting for tax season. Okay, I get it. You're waiting for a return, and let's talk about that. But if you're waiting for times to change, then you're going to be holding the bag. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like if you look back every 6 months for 3 years, it's been that way.
Absolutely. And it's going to, that is the procrastinator's best excuse to not do things. To just say, I'm waiting for the right season. Yeah. You're going to be waiting a while. I'm waiting for it to be sunny and 75 before I venture outdoors. Well, guess what? Welcome to your new place. You're living in here.
Then you got wind.
Yeah. But there's so. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Sorry, I tried to drag it out, but you guys got to go back out there and start working now. Sorry about that.
We're excited. We're ready.
Thank you, guys. We'll see y'all next time.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, it is 9:58. Let's do quick news before they kick me off the radio. Don't go. And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Walk.
98. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to
Here's
roll
an
over your
important message
401k
from the
or
Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Military assets to the region in support of Israel. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A typhoon has roared ashore in a major Taiwanese port city, bringing torrential rains and fierce winds to the island's south. News and analysis, townhall.com. Planetary researchers have been studying what was once classified as our solar system's ninth planet. Today it's known as a dwarf planet.
NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has identified traces of carbon dioxide and hydrogen peroxide on the surface of Pluto's largest moon. Previous observations of Charon found water ice, ammonia, and organic chemicals. Scientists think carbon dioxide might be stirred up by the impacts from asteroids. The new discoveries will help us understand more about radiation and surface chemistry at the far fringes of the solar system. The research was published this week in the journal Nature Communications. I'm Jennifer King.
In the heat of the presidential campaign, a U.S. district judge has unsealed special counsel Jack Smith's latest motion in the Trump 2020 election interference case. Now, Mr. Trump has vigorously denied the charges against him, and his legal team questions the timing of the motion's release. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm ringing through it. Flamenco gets on the groovy music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Almost perfect. You forgot the spin.
Oh, yeah.
And then, there you go. Nice. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, welcome to it.
Welcome to, we're getting into the final days of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. 3 full days of fairing left.
Yes.
Today, tomorrow, and
today, I don't remember. Today, I believe, is food day. Bring 2 cans of food, and you can get a ride bracelet for $25.
Oh, nice. So you can get a discount on your ride bracelet. Bring 2 cans of food, which I'm sure goes to local food camps.
Yeah. And some good food, people. All right? Don't just get rid of your veg-all and pumpkin mix, okay? I know that's what everybody does during food drives. I used to work the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts when they did the food drives every year. And I got a sneak peek into what some people consider food donations.
I have too taken part of it.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of canned pumpkin in those bags.
You know what ones make me happy? And I know, obviously, I'm like, ooh, I'm taking that home, but I mean, like, hominy. I love hominy.
I do enjoy a nice hominy.
So
honestly,
I'll slip some hominy in there. I'm good with that. I like
hominy was the only justification for me finally trying and liking menudo. I'm like, well, yeah, there's pozole, but I like to be adventurous, and so I tried menudo, and yeah.
One of my
enjoyed it. The hominy made it better.
Favorite things that my wife makes is a hominy casserole.
I've heard you talk about that.
Yeah, and it's very. I would more equate it to like a taco. So basically, it's ground beef, cheese, hominy, obviously, green chili, Doritos.
That's what I was going to say. I know there's a bag of Doritos in here somewhere,
Doritos,
right?
Yeah. I hate Doritos, but I love hominy casserole.
Really? You don't like Doritos?
Not a fan.
Huh.
Not a fan of Doritos.
My
whole life, I've never, even as a kid, I was not a fan of Doritos.
Of all of the chip varieties, I would say Doritos are probably my one seed.
And I grew up in a world where, everyone's drinking Mountain Dew and Doritos. And I'm like, no, give me the Cheetos.
No,
give me
and Cheetos are good. They're fine, but I have a sense memory from childhood because one of my best friends when I was a kid in Medill, his name was Justin, and his dad owned a Subway franchise.
Wow.
So on the regular, we would have for lunch, I would have a meatball sub and a bag of nacho cheese Doritos. That combination is childhood to me. I think that's what I'm going to have for lunch today now that we're talking about it.
To be honest, one of mine kind of like that is, I used to tell you we used to sneak out for lunch during school because we didn't have open campus and things. Well, one of the places we could get in and out quick, and I had to go to, was the Wendy's near our school. So almost every day, sometimes we'd venture off to a Mickey D's or something, but Wendy's was our staple. And we'd hit there, and I'd get the same thing every time.
Okay.
a junior bacon cheeseburger,
Nice.
small fry, and a small Frosty, $3.12 every
Nice.
single day. And that was my jam at Wendy's. So that's my version of that. A small Frosty, small fry, and a junior bacon cheeseburger.
Did you do the Frosty dip? Were you
No. I hate that.
Really?
I tried it. I had a friend that swore by it, and I was revolted by
Now,
it.
I will say, Wendy's fries, not the best fries to dip with. If you're going to get a Frosty, the move is get a Frosty and then go get McDonald's fries.
And you know what? I have not tried it with the current Wendy's fries.
They're still kind of...
This was the 1987 Wendy's fries.
They're the natural cut fries now, though, so it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, McDonald's fries with a Wendy's Frosty is a top-notch combo.
Tot, like a Sonic tater tot?
Tots don't hold up well to a Frosty unless you're doing more of like a mix-in thing.
Yeah, I'm just not a ice cream potato guy.
That would be something you'd have to like get a spoonful of Frosty, put a tot on top, and then try it because it doesn't facilitate dipping.
That's true. Those Arby's potato cakes could.
Oh, I bet they could. Although it's infuriating to me when I open the app and I see
not available
potato cakes not available.
Yeah,
at this
that is
time.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I have a certain things at each fast food that's my jam.
Mhm.
Like McDonald's, I think you can figure that one out. Steak bagel.
Yeah,
It's-
now
it's the Lord's work. And it was even when it wasn't available. That was still my one seed. At Arby's, it's those potato cakes. I will. I don't. You should just make them a feature every time. I love those potato cakes, and I don't because it's like a McDonald's hash brown on steroids,
right?
And I don't know. It just hits. I love those things.
Why does everything Arby's sell that is like an extra come triangle shaped? Their turnovers are the same way. Do they just have like? I just imagine
They have a
it's like,
triangle machine that makes turnovers and potato cakes.
Well, do you remember when this was in the 90s? Like Ron Code, all those had like those different machines, but there was one that was like a sandwich maker, and it was these two plates, and it was split into triangles. And so you put your bread in there and all your accoutrement, and then you would press it down, which is like a panini press, but it would cut your sandwich into perfect triangles.
Oh, I had those.
I imagine that's what they have in the back at every Arby's.
Maybe a little more.
Something along those lines.
More commercial grade, but yeah, something like that. But those potato cakes are my one seed at Arby's. Wendy's, it's the Frosty. I'm a chocolate Frosty.
Ayana checking in the chat, and she actually told me this last night. Her fries were cold. She was upset. She was very upset. She got all the way home, and her fries were cold. She said, but they got the Boo Book now, coupons for Frosty and kids meals. Ooh, nice.
So let me keep going here. So Arby's is the cakes. Wendy's Frosty. I love the Frosty. They're my favorite. Burger King, it's the original chicken sandwich.
The long boy. Okay, see, I like that. I would say
I love that sandwich.
Whopper's my one seed from Burger King just because it's the classic. It's the original. But if I'm going chicken sandwich, I got to go Italian. It's still the long boy, but it's got the marinara
It is good.
and the mozzarella.
Yeah, I've had it, but it's just something that other one hits different.
It's like that one is like
it's
a
the
chick
mayonnaise
parm.
and chicken combo.
Yeah, and that's not
good.
bad. Plus, you feel like you're getting more two sandwiches.
Yeah, I just like that sandwich. It's always been my one that hits. Let's see. Moving along, Whataburger. It's a limited thing. They always do it a couple times a year. The mushroom Swiss burger.
See, and those are fine. Patty melts are fine.
Yeah.
The original Whataburger.
Yeah.
Everything on it. Did you know you can switch to any bread on your burger with no charge?
I did not know.
So
that.
go Texas toast on original Whataburger with grilled onions instead of diced onions. That's the key. That's the
sounds
kicker.
good. But usually I when the mushroom Swiss burger's on the menu, that's what I go to.
These hills sing.
Taco Bell. This is my go-to.
Okay.
The steak quesarito.
Now, that's a good one. That is a good one. Can I tell you,
favorite.
they're bringing back some classics.
Well, I saw that they're bringing back
The
some
cheesy gordita crunch, which was my go-to, and the enchilada.
Yeah, I'll say the old school enchilada's back, isn't it? I haven't been to Taco Bell in a while, but
they don't put 3 olives on top like they used to.
Oh,
So it's just not quite as authentic.
Not exactly what you remember here.
They can't bring back that dog.
What other ones? Sonic. This one's evolved over in the recent things, and I don't know why. I just got one day, and it just made me happy.
Go ahead.
Frito chili cheese wrap.
You know what? Those are, and it's great because they're
love
like
that thing.
$1.49 and they're handheld.
It's basically a Frito pie burrito.
This is a gigantic advertisement for every fast food place
Oh, I
in
know.
town.
Well,
But
I'm equal opportunity in here. I'm trying to hit across the board.
We're going around the thing. I got something from Sonic the other day that you would find vile.
Okay.
It's their new drink. It's called Witch's Brew. It's a seasonal thing. It's flavored like it's an apple like slush with ice cream on top, but it's got caramel flavoring infused in it. So it's like a caramel apple, but all throughout it are these poppin' balls that taste like caramel.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't like chewing my drink.
I know you don't like popping. You don't like things bursting in your mouth. I get it, but
that don't sit well with me.
As soon as I saw it on the menu, I'm like, I must have this. I've had 2 now, and yes, they are phenomenal.
I am so plain when it comes to drinks.
But there's just something about you're sipping on something, you're like, ooh, something I can pop. It's like it's a fun little added thing.
I'm just so not fun when it comes to drinks. I'm like, Coke Zero, please. I don't need all the pollution.
This is how sad my life has become. I'm like, ooh, popping balls? I'm in.
No, I would have ventured. I'm like, I'm going to get an unsweet iced tea today. That's my. I'm pretty. Now that I think about it, I think I drink 3 things: water, Coke Zero, iced tea. That's pretty much all that I ingest liquid-wise into my body.
Go adventurous. Yeah. Next time you go to Sonic, get a half and half.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's half sweet tea and half unsweet tea, kids. It's not what you think it is.
I thought maybe Arnold Palmer with a lemonade and tea or something.
You order a half and half at the wrong restaurant, they'll send you around back.
There's a commercial. I don't remember what it was for. And I don't even remember the whole punchline, but I remember laughing, and it was the Arnold Palmer, and it was literally like an ESPN commercial. I think it was an old ESPN commercial.
Okay.
And they're like at a buffet, and there's like 2 of the ESPN guys watching Arnold Palmer. He's like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And he goes up, he puts a little iced tea and a little lemonade in his thing.
That's awesome. Of course, you think he does that like at the country club? Can I have a me?
Yeah, I bet he does.
Well, he did.
I'm sure in his town where he lives in his day-to-day, he walks in, he just says as usual or whatever.
Play this game now.
But I got a feeling he does walk into places. Can I have a me? And that does work.
Can I get a me, please? Yeah, it was. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he passed away.
Is he?
2016. I want to say it was a plane crash, wasn't it?
I thought Arnold Palmer was still alive. I honestly didn't know he was passed away.
I think it was cardiovascular disease, probably not while on a plane, but complications of heart problems. Yeah, he was 87.
Okay.
I thought I remembered hearing something about that.
To be honest, I missed it. I just, in my head, I thought Arnold was still with us. But anyway. So, no, he's not doing that today.
No, not today. And rounding out the fast food fracas, Long John Silver's clam strips every time.
Long John Silver's and I are an abused relationship.
It's real one-sided. I love them. They seem to hate me.
I do this thing where I don't eat long, and I grew up in Maryland, so places like John Silver's, you didn't go there.
Yeah,
you just didn't because
It's like getting a pizza from Pizza Hut in New York City.
It's quite frankly like going to Taco Bell here every day in New Mexico, where there's so many places to get tacos.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same kind of deal. But anyway, so I don't get Taco Bell Long John's often, but I do like their chicken and their fish. And so I usually get the 2 and whatever it is, 2 chicken, 3 fish, or whatever that combo is. But here's the thing. Every single time I get that thing, I eat it, and then I get about 2/3 through it. My stomach starts doing a thing, and I feel god-awful. It's always Long John Silver's. Me and Long John's don't get along, so I don't eat there very often.
Here's what's sad. I've had my experiences with Long John's and whole weekends being completely gone because of it.
Yeah.
I still go back.
But that's the thing. Every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, let's go have another one. And then I feel bad the rest. I'm like, this is why I don't do this.
Even the stuff I don't like, I can just soak it in malt vinegar and go to town, you know?
And here's the thing, too, and this is where, and I got to get our interview line, I just realized, because I'll go all day on this. But like sometimes, and I'm not sure if it's a regular or a limited thing, like when they do lobster bites and things, and I'll order them, and I know they're hot garbage. Because it's not. There's about as much lobster in there as there is in your Big Mac.
Right.
Is all I'm saying.
It's like when you order the crab cake, you're getting a crab cake.
Right. So I know that, but I'm a mark every time. It's just Long John's and I it's like I don't want to. I can't stop dating you. That's one of those. It's one of those
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Yeah, it's one of those moments.
Brokeback Silvers.
That's what's going on with me and
that's fantastic.
And LJ.
Brokeback Long Johns.
LJ, yes. All right, we're gonna play our interview with Robert Sherman for the Walker Aviation Museum. Yeah, it's like move along. I can't stop you. All right, it's 8:19. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today, low 90s on the afternoon high. The wind should stay light, though, and we'll get plenty of sunshine with that big high-pressure system still parked over our area. Clear in mid-50s for the overnight hours. Slightly cooler on Friday, upper 80s and sunny, and then right around 90 with sunshine Saturday and Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I thought I refreshed. I did refresh. 62 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 38%. Winds currently out of the west at 5 miles per hour. 94 expected high today under sunny skies with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 57 degrees and southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday sunny, 87 for a high. A little cooler tomorrow. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They'll shift to the southeast in the afternoon. Friday night, clear skies, overnight low of 56, south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Sunny on Saturday with a high of 91 expected. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 92. Looks like we'll start next week, at least through the first half, in the upper 80s there, 88, 89 temperature frame there. All right, it is 8:21. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Our lives run on energy every day. And every day, your friends and neighbors at New Mexico Gas Company safely deliver reliable, affordable, essential energy to New Mexicans. The kind of energy that brings families together, that surrounds us in comfort. The energy that warms homes and hearts. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and every day we deliver the energy that's behind some of the warmest moments in your life. That's why we're here.
At the end of the Apostle Paul's life, he wrote these words, "I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, I've kept the faith. Now there is in store for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but to all who have longed for his appearing." There's a lot of craziness in our world these days. However, for those who have accepted the saving grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, we know that the next life will be full of perfect peace. After living a life trying to destroy followers of Christ, the Lord spoke to Paul and changed his life's work to preaching the saving grace of Jesus. He truly fought the good fight from that point on. He had lived through persecution, prison, and even peril, yet was ready in the end to meet God's judgment, knowing that he had done what God had called him to do. You too can have that same assurance that even though this world is a mess, if you answer the call of God, you can face judgment with peace. Do you want to find that peace? Join us to learn how.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
At Artesia General Hospital, we know it's early, but schedule your mammogram today and save. Call 855-RAD-EXAM and save 10% off mammograms scheduled through October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And get a refreshing drink discount from Kith & Kin in Artesia or Blue House in Carlsbad. We use leading-edge, FDA-approved Genius 3D mammography technology to deliver more accurate results faster and with more comfort. Women over 40 do not need a referral for yearly screenings. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Ager told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mike.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Good deal.
Yeah, it was going to be Doug sitting here, so I was going to give him the message. Doug, drive careful. He's on the way to Ruidoso.
All right.
Up to see the cattle bearing up there.
We'll bring us back some moisture and a sandwich.
There you go.
Please. Very good. Of course, folks, if you're not familiar, the Walker Aviation Museum is located inside our Roswell Air Terminal, the airport. And it is a museum that celebrates the military base, of course, Walker Air Force Base, Roswell Army Airfield prior to that. That's where it was home, where that airport sits, and of course celebrates its role that we've served during World War II, and then also the museum celebrates those first early years of the Cold War, where Roswell, this area, served as home to many of the early generation intercontinental ballistic missiles here. And then so it kind of celebrates that history, and now kind of also turns its focus on the future in encouraging and promoting STEM-related career fields, obviously in the aviation industry, promoting those as well too. So that in a nutshell is kind of what the museum's all about.
Yep, that's and toward the end of the program today, I'm going to just run through again just a quick review of that history that sometimes. It's kind of good to review and kind of remember some of the little details that happened.
Yeah.
During those 26 years that the base was open.
Absolutely. Well, and it's kind of, and like I said, we'll get to this toward the end, but this museum, yes, we celebrate the missions that this base served during its time in operation, but really that museum focuses more on the life, the people, that called the base home. Right. It's as much about the history and the memory of the baseball teams and the various clubs and activities that took place on the base as it is on who served what and where and when and for how long and all that. So that's why I like it. It's kind of that mix of both there, where you get the life side of it, but like you said, we get so wrapped up in that too. We forget that as far as serving in the big scope of World War II. This area played a major role. I mean, when you talk about the air offensive in Europe and certainly Asia, Roswell was the tip of the spear in training all those folks that were doing that stuff.
That's right. We could have a lot of information, which we have some, about the different organizations during World War II, like over 8th Air Force, for example, in England, and missions flown by B-24s and stuff. You say, well, what does that have to do with Walker Air Force Base? Well, during the war, World War II, they trained about 14,000 advanced pilots, multi-engine pilots, and bombardiers. And then those people left Roswell or Walker or Roswell Army Airfield at the time and went straight over to Europe and flew in those organizations. So you might have a little poster there like, well, what does that have to do with, well, those men flying in bombardiers and pilots flying in those aircraft came from Roswell.
This very timely thing for those young folks that don't realize, but on Apple Plus, go watch that Masters of the Air show. That it's kind of the Band of Brothers series. Yeah, that'll show you exactly what these guys were doing after they left Roswell.
That's true. I'm I talked in the past about some books that I kind of recommended that I found very interesting about the war and stuff. Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace, and Enola Gay, that book by Gordon Thomas and Max Morgan Witz. In World War II, the 100 ranking 100 most influential figures of World War II. Those are interesting. But a recent book I read that I kind of ignored and pushed aside because I probably thought the titles were kind of weird.
Okay.
And that's Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard's books on killing Patton, Killing Reagan, Killing Lincoln, those books. And actually,
I've read the Lincoln one.
I just finished reading Killing Patton, and it was just kind of like, of course, it wasn't just about why or how Patton died. It's things going on during World War II, and you'd have a chapter, and it would say the location, the time, the date, and it would be like, wow, that's kind of talk about in Moscow what Stalin was doing as far as Christmas stuff. And after you got through reading that chapter, you go, wow, that was interesting. I didn't know that,
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff throughout that book on the
Things that make
European
you go,
War. Yeah, the European War. So I'm getting ready to read Killing the Rising Sun.
Okay.
How American vanquished World War II Japan. And I'm sure that'll involve some of the 509th and the atomic bomb stuff.
Absolutely.
So, but
yeah.
I just read that book, and I just remember I was telling my wife, I said, it's just by chapter, you'll read it and you go, wow, that was interesting information. I never heard that before.
Sure.
So they
and when it comes to
pick
World
up.
War II stuff and reading, you kind of, at some point, you start seeing a lot of the same stuff.
That's true. By the way, we had some interesting visitors. I'll talk here in just a minute about Museum Day. But,
sure.
Recently, we had a lady call up, and she wanted to bring her pet chicken to the museum.
All right.
And this chicken was actually her pet chicken. She just sit there and look around.
Is it like a emotional support chicken? Or
yeah, I guess she writes a children's book.
Okay.
And this chicken.
And the chicken's a
so
character?
She took some pictures of the chicken sitting by the flight simulators.
Okay.
Chicken sitting by some other displays and said, and she had a name for the chicken. I forget.
Okay. So she's using chicken and then like telling stories about the chicken adventures and making
chicken
kids books
adventures,
out of
and
it.
this was to the Walker
So it's kind of a
museum and stuff.
Creating a story out of real life with the chicken.
Yeah.
Cool. That was nifty. That's a good little fun
Big
thing.
sign as you walk into the terminal that says no animals allowed
Right.
except service dogs.
So we had to call it an emotionally
But they kind of
support
made an
chicken.
exception. Let that little chicken come
So
in.
it's a service chicken now.
It was real calm. It just sat around, whatever.
It's used to being handled and
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Probably. Well, cool.
For about 2 days after that, I didn't feel like eating any chicken sandwiches.
But then someone was grilling some and he smelled it and said, all right, I'm ready.
Pet chicken, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the problem. It smells too delicious when it's cooking.
By the way, on the
we'll have to look for that story online, maybe, or that book. See if
me too. Yeah. Oh, another. Just since we're talking about that stuff, had a lady call, and her name is Jennifer Chan. She's from Taiwan.
Okay.
And she's bringing a photographer and I guess someone else that writes the book, and they're doing some research and stuff on the UFO.
Okay.
And when she first sent it to me, bless her heart, she said, I'm here to talk about the UFO that happened in 1974.
I think she flipped the date
Yeah,
there.
so I wrote her back. I said, I think you mean 1947.
Yeah, I was like, what happened in 74?
Bless her heart. So anyway, she's coming in on Friday and wants to kind of take some pictures. And just as far as the military part, if she wants to talk UFO stuff, I tell her, there's a place right down on Main Street you want to go.
I know some people.
Yeah.
But they're all intertied together.
That's right.
And that base is always going to be intertwined in that too.
So anyway, we're going to, I guess, host that. Then let's see what happens on that.
Well, that's always fun.
Roswell Museum Day was a really success. And I know they're not listening because they're probably in school. Well, getting ready to go to school. But since we weren't being able to let kids fly the flight simulators, we had some signs up and say, if you want to fly these, this is who you text. That's me.
Okay.
And we'll set up an appointment and we'll come out with your church group or your school group or your classroom or whatever.
Like if you really want to do it, get a hold of me and we'll make this happen.
Because these actually take about 10 minutes of orientation before you just let somebody
Yeah,
get
this
on it.
isn't your Xbox or whatever. You sit down, turn it on, and start going. This is a training device.
Yeah, it's Lockheed software. And flies 50 different airplanes and land anywhere airport in the world. And has about 30 scenarios of different stuff you can do with it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we had a lot of folks come. We figure probably 2 to 3 times as many as we had the previous year.
That's great.
And I think, they had adults fit out these little tickets for winning prizes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you would have a man and a woman come in and fill out a ticket, and they actually had their husband there and 3 kids. So we had 165 tickets,
but
I think it's probably maybe, you know,
2 to 3 times that.
Yeah, maybe 300, but not always. But there was 3 or 4 times during that 8 hours that I was working that I looked around the museum and there was about 30, 35 people in there.
And once, if you've never been, once you see the size of the museum, you're going to be like, wow, 35 people.
Yeah, they were standing on each other's shoulders.
Yeah, it's not a lot of acreage there.
No,
it's
not.
a lot packed in that small area, though.
But the thing that really helped us was Doug Weiser, our president. He's a manager of Pasta Cafe. That's another advantage, to have the new president being the manager of the Pasta Cafe.
Right.
Cattle Baron. Guess where we have little quick meetings?
That's right. Bare minimum, a pizza every meeting.
Absolutely. Pasta Cafe, I recommend the Godfather Pizza. You get to pick the 6 items that you want to put on the pizza.
Well, you're the boss.
Huh?
As the Godfather, you're the boss.
That's right. You tell them. Okay,
Forget about it.
So
Put that
anyway,
on the pizza.
what he organized was he got 4 young adult ladies to come in from First Tee.
Oh, excellent. That's a great program.
A lot of them play, golf on the golf team at Goddard or Roswell, whatever.
It brings the sport of golf to these young children.
Yeah.
And but through that, they teach these kids life lessons and things and help them, become better people.
They came in, they had 2 shifts of 2 girls, and they came in, and what they did was we bought a bunch of paper airplane books from Amazon.
Okay.
And had all these weird, colorful, pictures when they folded up into an airplane. And it really looked like a real jet, or it had eyes of a dinosaur.
So it was coordinated to give it a slick paint job and everything.
So they were there in this table and making paper airplanes for the kids. So there's little paper airplanes flying all over the lobby out there during this. It was kind of between
That's
flights.
cool, though.
It wasn't anything. No, it was fun. So they were making paper airplanes, and the kids could come up and have maybe 10 or 15 to pick from, and they'd pick one and go out there and fly the paper airplanes around. Anyway,
if you didn't realize, there was a solid 2 years of my childhood where I had some friends that was pretty much our day. We'd get like those big thick Sears catalogs from like Christmas time and all. They were like this big mammoth books, and one of my friends, he was an expert paper airplane maker. He'd make all different designs, and we'd literally, like our roofs of our house, there was at least a half dozen paper airplanes up there until the wind finally hit and blew them all off. But yeah, or the rain would soak them in and then they get stuck up there. But yeah, I love that idea. I could spend a day just goofing around, making paper airplanes and throwing around the lobby of the air terminal. How great would that be? But anyway, sorry, it just reminded me of a childhood memory.
No, I know. my childhood memory was dealing with kind of like this subject, but my dad he could make kites. He made kites himself. We had big box kites we'd fly. And we lived at 1209 North Kentucky, and there was a vacant lot right next to me. But anyway, we would, the wind come to the southwest, and we'd get that kite. It'd be up there so high. Probably, now that I think about it, people flying around there in their Cessnas, that's probably like, what is this doing at my altitude?
Right.
Probably wasn't the right thing to do. Anyway, but we flew kites a lot. But he would just make them from scratch with paper and glue them and stuff. And
I always found the best kites always were the most cheapo ones, like that one that was in that bin at the Allsups or whatever when you bought it. Those things I could get flying in a heartbeat. Those convoluted box kites and everything. I had a heck of a time getting them things up.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a little sidetracked. Let's get back to Museum Day.
We had a winner. We picked for our little thing, and then we turned in we had probably the majority of the people came to the Walker Museum last, and then when that happened, then we could tear off the little bottom strip, so we turn it into the Roswell Museum at 5 o'clock when we closed, and at 5:30 they drew the winner. And
they had all these folks that were going around that if they went to each museum and got their passport stamped. Once they were at their last location, they tore off the bottom section and they got entered into a drawing to win a gift basket that had hundreds of dollars of gift cards and
it was about $700 value. Yeah,
and so they were all kind of scrambling at the end there to get those turned in so they could get in on the drawing.
Yep, that was true. And so So anyway, we had a lot of fun with that, and the girls from the first tee really made it easy for us, and it was really fun.
So they were kind of the keeping the glue, keeping everything together.
Also, little tiny kids, instead of being totally bored about it, the parents could be looking around, and the other little kids would be over by the table with a paper airplane.
See,
so.
they were the positive distraction.
Yeah,
very cool. But I'm glad you got to see about double what you saw the first year, which was great.
Oh, yeah.
Which means the museum day experience in of itself was bigger, and I'm willing to bet. I know the Historical Society had a great group of people. I'm willing to guess all the other 5 museums
the
did too
advantage
as
of
well.
that, if you get your passport on that day only, you could get into the UFO museum free.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because everybody was free.
Yeah,
but you had to have a passport.
Well, and they
before you
weren't.
got there.
Yeah, they weren't advertised. Like you couldn't get the passport at the UFO museum on that day because they are the one museum that charges. And to be honest, that's for the out of town folks. Museum day is for local folks. So what they're doing, they don't want out of town folks to get in for free because that's how they make money and that's how they stay open. That's how the whole capitalism thing works.
Right.
But at the same time, they wanted chances for locals to come in. So but you could have gone on there at other days. But anyway, if you had the passport, you got in for free. But they didn't really advertise it there because they didn't want out of towners to get in and take advantage of a local thing.
That's true.
So that's kind of what was going on there. But everyone else, they had them the whole time and all that. But if you missed out for it, look here again, probably in the September, August timeframe next year. Be on the lookout for Museum Day 2025.
Yeah, it'll be on a Saturday.
Yeah,
usually about 10 to 5 or 9 to 5.
And I like it too because it's 7 museums, and who knows, if
Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize in Roswell 7 museums. Really? Yeah. Seriously.
Well, and like one of the more museums that are slept on a little bit is the McBride Museum at the New Mexico Military Institute because it's on campus. It's
kind of harder to get to than
and unless your day-to-day life involves the campus, it's not on your radar so much.
Yeah.
But I mean, that museum is really cool because at least for me, because I mean, you see life of what NMMI has been like for cadets, through the ages and all that. But like if you've never seen a Medal of Honor before, an actual Medal of Honor, they got one in there. Those are very rare, folks. Those just don't willy hang around places. That's not very many people see one of those up close in person in life, Medal of Honor. And the sad part is the people that are awarded them 9 times out of 10 aren't usually alive to see the receive. I mean, there's a few, but not many. Most Medal of Honor winners win it, after they're already passed.
By the way, on like we already mentioned, where we're located is within actually paper airplane flying distance to the TSA check-in areas where we're located.
They tested it.
We're right there. Also, we're open about 2.5 hours prior to the midday airline departure in that time frame, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go to a website, aa.com, which is American Airlines, and you just go down and you hit flight status. And then you can just it comes up and gives you, where you're taking off and where you're going to. You just put ROW for Roswell to DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth, and it'll show you the takeoff times. Now, a while back, the takeoff time was like 11-something. Right now, it's 12:07.
Okay.
So it changes almost monthly, but it's just a few minutes plus or minus.
Right.
And
but you figure around the lunch tower.
So we're open for about 9:30, 9:45 till about 12:15, something like that.
There you go. So about
Monday
lunch.
through Friday.
Now, here's the thing. If you like to volunteer, if you want to serve as part of the Walker Aviation Museum, we got many different roles there. But if you want to serve as a docent, as a volunteer, more docents, more volunteers means we can expand those hours and make and even expand it outside the flight schedule there at the airport. Maybe we can have just set hours 9 to 5 Monday through Friday if we get enough volunteers and things like that.
Right.
But if you're interested and want to see more of that, please reach out to the board. Go to the website and let's get your feet dirty and get in here and let's do some stuff.
Right now, myself or Bob Donnell go out there on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So we kind of divide up. I'm going out Monday and Friday this week, and he's going out today, Tuesday. Stephen Miller joined a group. He holds down the fort on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And Allie Bishop, our treasurer, she holds down the museum on Thursdays. So.
Okay.
Anyway, that kind of... Oh, by the way, our board members, myself, of course, Allie Bishop is our treasurer. Katie Yates, Sandy Correa. She was a president up until August 2024. September 23 to August.
So now she's what, emeritus or whatever?
Yeah, Bob Donnell. He, again, is a volunteer there. Juliana Halverson, Jerry Cloffer, Friar Jodek Norwalki, Stephen Miller, we already mentioned that, he's on Wednesdays. Doug Weiser, our new president as of September, and he'll be the president until August of 2025. Peggy Boland, who works with science a lot. She's part of that. And our brand new member is a really great guy, is Josh Bootson. And he works with the New Mexico Workforce Connection.
So welcome.
Out at the college area. So.
Very good. So Josh is our newest, but looking for more volunteers, more people that would willing to serve. I invite you to check out the Walker Air Force Base Museum's website.
That's right. That's WAFB, Walker Air Force Base, WAFBmuseum.org.
Yep. And there you can find all the information we talked about here. But if you'd like to donate financially, there is a donate now button and everything there to help.
Our membership too is
membership's another way to get involved.
25 for a student, 75 for a family, seniors 45, veteran
and then
$30.
Of course, if you want to access all the STEM and career field side of the museum, you'll find all that information at Walker Air Force Base Museum's website there too.
Yeah, under education.
Yes, under the
matter
education
of fact, we have a little sheet we pass out to people. And we bring a group in of 8, and we have them for about 3 hours, and that lets each person get on the flight simulator for about 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also show 12 STEM careers off of YouTube, plus one on how to select a career. And
there's a picture. No,
Venn diagram. Anyway, yeah, that's all accessible on a smartphone. By just going to the website and clicking on education, you can go down, and it's set up, thanks to Julian Halverson, that you can actually play all those videos. And you can play 38 professional pilot training videos. And we get people in, and we ask them, you got any grandkids or kids that are 12 to 18 years old? And matter of fact, yesterday I had a lady, she says, yeah, my son he's 16, and he really wants to be a pilot. So I showed him the website, and I said, there's 38 professional pilot videos, all the ground school stuff right there. And she goes, wow, you'll really go for that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Good
a lot of things you can do just by going on a computer or going on your iPhone, and you can access that information.
And trust me, for those kids they desperately need more and more qualified people in the industry, from pilots to mechanics to air traffic controllers to people.
Matter of fact, that's why we didn't, I think, that's what I heard anyway, that, we had our 2 flights going to Phoenix, and they just don't have enough pilots in American Airlines and stuff, because I think those planes were flying pretty full back and forth.
Yeah. COVID, they had a huge turnover of people during that because of COVID, and they have not caught up from that yet. And that's
right.
So you're looking for a career where you can write your own ticket and make pretty good living doing it. Maybe check out that Walker Aviation Museum's website, wafbmuseum.org.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Do you want to talk the little history here?
Yeah, quick little history.
Yeah.
Okay, war was looming. It hadn't started yet. The United States decided it should better train 30,000 more pilots. And Walker was not an initial pilot training base. It was a pilots that had just finished pilot training, but then they were getting ready to transition into multi-engine aircraft.
Okay, so they went from
so they came
single
here
to
as
big
a
boys.
Brand new graduate pilot. They came to Walker.
So they knew
Roswell
stick and
Army
throttle,
Airfield.
but that's about it. Right?
And they flew the little AT-11s, which is a little twin engine. At the same time, they had in the nose of that thing, they could have a bombardier. So during World War II, Roswell Army Airfield trained 14,000, like I mentioned earlier, 14,000 pilots and bombardiers total right out of here until the war was over, then it quit being a training base and became a bomber base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, were they also training the rest of the crew, the gunners and navigators and all that
As
here?
far as I know, it was just
pilots and bombardiers?
Bombardiers and pilots. Yeah.
Okay. I
So they
didn't know.
had we actually had 7 squadrons of advanced pilot training by the end of the war, and 5 squadrons of bombardier training.
Because really, if I remember right, really your only officers on the crew are your pilot, co-pilot, your bombardier, and your navigator, right?
Yeah.
The rest are enlisted. They're on a gun or
Yeah. I know my dad almost became a tail gunner on a B-29, but he was a B-29 crew chief, but he ended up staying there. But they were looking for people to be tail gunners and stuff, you know. But anyway. Okay, so Roswell was selected as one of the new bases there in 1941. $9 million construction started in February 42 and on 4,624 acres provided by David Chesser, a local rancher. Again, pilot training was advanced pilot training in multi-engine aircraft. And
so they were learning tactics,
Yeah.
like evation tactics, flak, diving flak, putting out fires in the engines and things like that if one catches fire. Because, by the way, if an engine catches fire, how do they put it out? They dive. But they teach them all that stuff.
Yeah. Peak strength during World War II at Roswell Army Airfield was 8,616 personnel as far as trainers and just running the base, not the students. And those are 14,000 of those. 1942 to September 42 through April 43, about 1,000 glider pilots served as a glider replacement pool at Roswell Army Airfield.
Now, that's what those guys drew the short straw as far as assignments in World War II.
March to April 43, 42 Chinese students trained in the B-25s here at Roswell Army Airfield. So they had some B-25s here for a period of time. So, again, August 6, 1945, the 509th Composite Group B-29 Nola Gay, piloted by Paul Tibbets, dropped the enriched uranium bomb in Hiroshima, Japan. And he returned to Roswell Army Field later to Walker. But a lot of people think that those planes that dropped the atomic bombs came from Roswell, and that's not true. They came out of
now, they've been here.
Utah.
But they weren't assigned here. They've landed and,
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Did stuff here, but they weren't assigned to this.
Yeah. So the 509th, including the Nola Gay boxcar, moved to Roswell Army Airfield and became the nucleus of the Atomic Strike Force for Strategic Air Command in May 1946. The 393rd, 715th, 830th Bomb Squadrons, and they came into Roswell, and the 509th ended up moving back over to Pease Air Force Base, New Hampshire in 1958 during the Cold War.
Okay.
Strategic Air Command was activated as a retaliatory bombardment organization in March 21st, 1946. In the summer of 46, Roswell Army Airfield, the 509th participated in multiple atomic test missions in the Marshall Islands called Operations Crossroad, where they dropped some atomic bombs from the aircraft.
Okay.
UFO incident occurred in 47.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Army Air Corps became the United States Air Force in September 18th, 1947.
That's when it went.
And,
the Air Force was its own thing.
Named after General Kenneth N. Walker, a native of northern part of New Mexico, just up there near Santa Fe. But he was flying the San Antonio Rose B-17 and got shot down over Papua New Guinea. He's still missing in action, but he was given that after he was killed. But he was one of 4 officers that devised the what they call War Plans Division -1, a blueprint for the imminent strategic air war against Germany. And so they did that in the Pentagon. So he was really important for developing the actual strategic bombing plans for World War II. So I think that's one of the reasons he got Congressional Medal of Honor rather than just going missing.
Sure.
As a general officer, yeah.
His contributions to...
Actually, he wasn't supposed to be in the airplane.
I was about to say, that's the thing, is not too many generals are doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
They're usually behind a desk somewhere.
General MacArthur actually told him, stay at your office, stay in your desk.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He was flying as a passenger on that plane.
Well, and you can't.
Because he went with his guys. How can I,
Well, when that man was a young man child, he wasn't dreaming about being a general. He's dreaming about being a pilot.
That's right. That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
So, Walker was up and going during the Korean War, and we actually had a fighter squadron called the 58th Fighter Squadron was here with, end up with an F-89 Scorpion. It was modified and was armed with atomic-tipped air-to-air missiles to defend the U.S. desert Southwest bomber invasion from the border with Mexico.
So they were on security.
Yeah, and those little atomic bomb, and they made lots of those. Those would destroy a bomber if they went off within.
So they probably had alert aircraft, and usually when that works out, because they have live ordnance and things, they'll park those way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was in Hangar 91.
Yeah,
and they just stayed there, and if the doors open, they'd taxi them away.
Yeah, they literally fire them up and roll out and go. Yeah,
right.
They got to be up in the air within minutes.
Of course, with that. With our bombers here, it wasn't the only atomic weapons on the base.
Oh, yeah. There was a few down below.
Yeah. So the 579th Missile Squadron, the Atlas F missiles that were 12 silos surrounding Roswell, and of course we had B-52s on alert. Those were all on alert during the Cuban Missile Crisis of October 16th through the 28th, 1962. And that's probably one of the scariest times of World War II.
Harry, 2 weeks or whatever, the total sports, was it 14 days or whatever total, 13 days, whatever it was, yeah.
We had, those were finally retired pretty quickly. They had 3 Atlas silos blow up during propellant loading exercises. No loss of life. One guy was injured by running into a barbed wire fence trying to get away. Other than that, no injuries, luckily. But when they were building the silos, quite a few people were killed when one of the silos had a collapse. And
I'm
stuff.
sure. Yeah. That's the dangerous part is digging these holes, and it's like it's no different than coal mining or whatever. When they dig those tunnels, sometimes the tunnel collapses.
So they closed it down in 65, and they went to the solid fuel, Minuteman missile type. So,
which is much safer than those early versions.
Yeah. So Walker had AT-11s, BT-13s, BT-15s, 17s. For training, B-25, B-29s, B-50As, B-36, B-47, B-52s, KB-29s, KB-50s, and KC-97, KC-135 were tankers, and then the F-89 Scorpion.
And that's why
a whole bunch of different airplanes assigned to.
And that's why that runway is so gosh darn big out
there. That's right. So they closed in 1967 to meet some congressional budgetary limits to deal with the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
Also, some side notes of Roswell, because of the altitude and the temperatures, and high temperatures, sometimes the reduced pretty significantly the takeoff maximum payload of a KC-135 tanker. I didn't realize that, about 40,000 pounds.
Wow.
Less. Anyway.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
It's very, those numbers got to be just right for some of these aircraft to get off the ground.
Well, come and see us. We're open Monday through Friday, middle of the day. Oh, we have a new phone number.
Oh, very good.
What is that number? I think it's 575-755, and then U.S. Air Force.
Ooh.
So
it's gonna make your Army vet volunteers mad.
Since we went, with Plateau, we had to change the first 3 numbers. I think it's 755, and then the last is USAF.
Okay.
And you can figure out what that number is.
Cool. Good deal. So if you need to call, of course, you can always go online to the website, wafbmuseum.org.
That's right.
Find all that information there as well. Or better yet, come by Monday through Friday, anytime between like 9 and 12:30 or so, and odds are pretty good you'll pop in and see the museum's open and come have a chat.
That's right.
And a visit. Good deal. Do we get it all?
I think so for now.
Excellent. Well, thank you, sir, as always, and we'll see you all next month, or if it's Doug. Or
yeah, Doug Weiser, I think, will be here next month.
Very good. Tell him bring a pizza.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I know.
But thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. All right. It is 7:58. Let's do news before more news. Don't go away.
along with the Anderson Museum of Contemporary Art and the Walker Aviation Museum inside the airport's terminal building. The action plan for the airport document also includes how to go about hiring an experienced airport director who can implement the strategy. Artesia High School's bowling coach Ken Clayton has been indicted into the New Mexico U.S. Bowling Congress Hall of Fame. Clayton was installed under the Super Performance category. With 27 career perfect games, Clayton also has 6 U.S. Bowling Congress 800 Series awards and a high season average of 236. He's been the only bowling coach Artesia High School has ever had. His teams have won 9 state championships. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Areas of North Carolina devastated by Hurricane Helene, and he dispatched 1,000 National Guard troops to assist in recovery. Actively involved in private relief efforts, former President Trump, he's visited the disaster zone. And Pastor Eric Williamson in Hendersonville, North Carolina, has been making the rounds. He's checking on some members of his flock who
don't have telephone service. Even if they have a landline, a lot of that isn't working. So bringing them food and water, but also just bringing them a smile and a prayer with them. Just to give them comfort.
The storm-related death toll is approaching 200 across 6 southern states. Israel continues hammering Hezbollah, saying its forces killed about 15 of the group's operatives during an airstrike on a building in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, 8 Israeli troops were killed in an ambush. In Ukraine, authorities say Russia has hit another civilian target. Correspondent Hannah Arhairova is in Ukraine.
Last night, Russian troops fired glide bombs at the second largest city in Ukraine, Kharkiv, and one of the bombs hit a residential building, a 5-story building where 12 people were injured. This is according to local officials. Local authorities believe that several glide bombs were fired, though they didn't elaborate on the exact numbers of the bombs.
Ukrainian officials say a 3-year-old girl is among those injured in the attack. Oil prices on the rise as the world awaits Israel's response to this week's Iranian missile attack. On Wall Street, the Dow down 278 points. The NASDAQ is off 49. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
In Singapore, a former cabinet minister has been sentenced to a year in prison after pleading guilty to charges of bribe-taking.
In handing down the one-year sentence, Justice Vincent Hung emphasized that Subramaniam Iswaran's crimes were an abuse of power and jeopardized people's trust in public institutions. Iswaran had already pleaded guilty and been convicted for receiving more than $300,000 worth of gifts while in public office and obstructing the course of justice. The investigation into him centered on allegations he accepted lavish gifts from businessmen that included hotel stays, Formula One tickets, a Brompton bicycle and a trip on a private jet.
That's BBC's Saranjana Tiwari reporting. A typhoon has roared ashore in a major Taiwanese port city, bringing torrential rains and fierce winds to the south of the island. Trees were brought down by high winds and roads flooded, prompting the closure of schools and businesses. News and analysis, townhall.com. Two leading papers declared Ohio Senator J.D. Vance the winner of Tuesday's vice presidential debate.
The Washington Post asked uncommitted swing state voters in real time about their reaction to Tuesday's debate. They thought Vance performed better regardless on how they plan to vote in November. Among the 12 voters who leaned toward former President Donald Trump and Vance before the debate, 5 said they would definitely vote for Trump afterwards. 7 say they would still probably vote for Trump. Finally, among the 2 voters who were undecided before the debate, 1 said they would probably vote for Harris, and 1 said they would vote for a third-party candidate. Politico's campaign reporters said the debate, light on body blows and heavy on policy, was won by Vance on style points. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
The CDC reports kindergarten vaccination rates dipped last year, and the proportion of kids with exemptions rose to an all-time high. 92.7% of kindergartners did get their required shots. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 of Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
It is Thursday, coming to the end of the week. Don't forget, there is high school football on the air tonight. Our Teacher Bulldogs are in action as they travel to Santa Caprisa.
Yep.
Take on the Desert Warriors. That game will be available for you to listen to on our sister station in Artesia, 990 AM, and its FM translator, 93.7 FM. However, a lot of you here in town probably won't pick that up if you're trying to get that. So I invite you to ksvptv.com. There will be video of the broadcast there.
Yes, indeed.
In the Artesia Bulldog channel.
Yep.
Of course, Roswell and Goddard will be in action tomorrow night. Goddard traveling to Deming. Coyotes are here at home.
Yep.
We'll have those games. Roswell here on 106.5 and Goddard on 106.1 FM at Sierra. We'll have those and live streaming video, both broadcasts, ksvptv.com.
Absolutely. And speaking of live broadcast, as we speak, let me see. I'm trying to find the shows that's going on right now. At the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Currently, they are in the, I believe it is the Dairy Heifer Show. Looks like.
Okay.
So that show is going on currently over on ksvptv.com. You can also get caught up on past livestock shows, and we'll have the upcoming livestock auction this weekend at ksvptv.com. Your source for all things Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
Yeah, got you covered, and still got 3 full fair days of fairing left to do.
I'll be out broadcasting live from 5 to 8 tonight for our sister station, 92.9 The Brand, alongside our other sister station, our sister's sister station, Fiera 106.1, and Miss Claudia. So we'll be out there in the big blue brand wagon. Come by and say hi. Check out our state-of-the-art technology with TVs plastered onto the brand wagon, showing off all things Eastern New Mexico State Fair, and we'll be showing the Artesia game on screen tonight as well.
Ooh, live, yeah.
That's right. So you can come to the fair and still enjoy the Bulldog game.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
So you can kind of, so if you get, say, you're like, but the game's on tonight, just hang out by our trailer, and then the rest of the family can go ride the rides, and,
And good news here is our trailer is situated feet from the ice cream booth.
Literally, I could throw a rock and hit the place. I wouldn't because that's cruel.
Yeah.
But you can.
And so I'm saying you could, in theory, barely miss the game and go do milkshake and ice cream runs. That whole time.
Hopefully you don't get runs.
Well, if you're lactose intolerant,
right.
you might want to.
If you're lactose and toddler ants,
you might want to go non-dairy there.
But, pop a lactate before you head over there. But it is top notch.
Yeah.
And
if you're like I'm ice creamed out, if I remember right, there's like a lemonade stand like right near there too with it like just you have to shift your point of view just a little bit and you're right to the lemonade.
Yeah.
And I think there's some cowboy fries or some stuff in there too. And
I have a small complaint about the lemonade stand this year. I don't know. I'm not trying to knock them. It feels like the lemonade isn't as lemonade-y as it has been in previous years. Maybe it's less sugar. I'm not sure.
You're saying they changed the recipe.
They might have changed the recipe a little bit because I've had now because I have one of the refill cups. You buy the cup, you can refill for $5. And I've had a couple of refills, and it feels like the love's not there. I don't know. Maybe they just need to squeeze a little more love into their lemonade.
Because I don't know, but it's basically lemon, sugar, and water,
yeah,
right?
That's the
pretty
recipe.
much it.
But it's the ratios that make all the difference.
Absolutely, yeah. If it's all water and no sugar and lemon, yeah.
The container with which you make your lemonade should already be about yay full of just sugar. And then we can start filling it with water and lemon.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because lemon is a tart beast.
'Tis indeed. But other than that, great fare at the fair.
And I don't know why I didn't think of this till just right now. Is pink lemonade just added pink food coloring, or is it a different lemon? What
Technically, it's supposed to be a strawberry lemonade, but it's usually just pink food coloring.
Because I was thinking about I've had pink lemonade, and I'm like, where does that come from?
It does taste a little. I mean, to my knowledge, you know what? I wonder if there's out there a blindfolded taste test of somebody drinking lemonade and pink lemonade and being able to tell the difference.
Now I'm starting to think, did pink lemonade go the way of the red pistachio?
It might be grapefruit. What makes, hi Google, pink lemonade pink?
Well, while Sean's doing this and looking up the pink lemonade, let me tell you what's happening here. Coming up this weekend, October 4th, actually Friday, not tomorrow, I say weekend. There's a free Roswell legal fair happening this Friday, October 4th. Free in-person consultations with an attorney. Bilingual attorneys and staff will be available from 1 to 4 p.m. And that is going to be, it's going to be happening at the Roswell Adult Center at 807 North Missouri here in Roswell from 1 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. For additional information, if you have questions, you can contact or email the legal clinics here at you can call them at 877-266-9861. Again, that's 877-266-9661, or you can 9861, or go online to nmlegalaid.org. nmlegalaid.org. This event is sponsored by the Volunteer Attorney Programs and the 5th Judicial District Pro Bono Committee. And so if you need some free legal advice, again, it's from 1 to 4 p.m. tomorrow at the Adult Center, 807 North Missouri. They're going to have free legal advice offered, bilingual services as well, from 1 to 4 p.m. Areas of law that they're offering services for include divorce, custody, visitation, child support, landlord-tenant issues, creditor debtors, things like that, wills and probate, powers of attorney, employment and unemployment benefits, and benefits for contracts and stuff too. So if you don't have your wills planned, or you've got a dispute with child support or divorce, they'll have attorneys there can offer free legal advice 1 to 4 tomorrow at the Adult Center, 807 North Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, pink lemonade.
So there's actually, from what I've gathered, there's a lot of answers. Mostly it's like commercially purchased pink lemonade is usually like a dye. Some involve juices, grenadine, so that would be pomegranate. Beet juice is another popular way to
interesting
pinken it up. But other places just say raspberry syrup. Other places say fruit juices or food dyes. So grape juice in some cases.
To be honest, pomegranate lemonade sounds delightful to me.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little shot of grenadine in there.
Yeah, it sounds like a pomegranate lemonade beverage.
Pop that in a shaker with some ice. I'm telling you.
Sounds pretty delicious.
Get yourself a nice little mocktail.
Yeah. Although maybe in your cocktail world, maybe you should go into maybe a pink lemonade, see what's offered in the adult varieties there, and go there a little bit.
So there's a vodka called Pink Whitney.
Okay.
And
sounds like a band name.
It does. It's a New Amsterdam, and they partnered with of all places Barstool Sports.
Okay.
To create this flavor, and it's straight pink lemonade flavored vodka.
Because when I think of Manly Times of Barstool Sports, I think of pink lemonade.
Pink lemonade. But the best part is it's become like the unofficial like girl drink at the party at parties. So like it used to be, it was like skinny girl vodka or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's give them a little shooter of Pink Whitney. That's kind of what they want.
What's his name still have Mangria around? Shoot. His name went right out. The Man Show guy, not Kimmel, the other one.
Adam Carolla?
Carolla's podcast and all that, but he's got it's sangria, but it's called Mangria, and it's a whole, like, he came out with it a couple years ago. But I have not really heard much about Mangria in the last year or two, so I didn't know if Mangria went out of business.
It sounds awful. I'm not going to lie. It sounds like the worst thing you can put in your mouth. What are you drinking? Mangria.
But I don't know if that product is still in existence. But I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, he was hot and heavy.
Adam Carolla's Orange Mangria. Offers intense blackberry and cranberry aromatics, full body texture. Shut up!
Yeah, Mangria. Ask for it by name.
If you say it even slightly wrong, it sounds like Mangaria.
Yeah, it does sound like a venereal disease or something.
Sometimes I ate some bad Long John Silver's callback. Now I got a bad case of Mangaria.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we forgot Blake's.
Oh, of course.
Green chili bacon breakfast burrito is my go-to at Blake's.
I will say their bacon is good. Their chorizo is off the chain, fantastic. But one seed above all at Blake's is just the green chili cheeseburger. I mean,
absolutely.
The burrito's fine, but the cheeseburger is. They actually, like, according to lore, they sort of like invented the green chili cheeseburger.
Ooh, okay.
In like fast food, because there's an argument, because a lot of people say Al Cafe created the first green chili cheeseburger, but I think it's variations on who created which kind.
All I know is God bless each and every one of them for fighting the good fight. I don't care who created it. I'm just thank you for your year.
Oh, and
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I keep seeing commercials for Laguna Burger, and then I hear they keep winning I think they won again for the green chili cheeseburger at the fair this year. And I think they're one of the casinos in Albuquerque, the Laguna Burger. But I ain't gonna lie. I'm the more I keep seeing the commercial, I'm like, I gotta make a quest to see what's going on with this Laguna Burger. Like, 'cause everyone's kind of ranting and raving about this bad boy, and I'm like, I gotta put my lips around this thing and see what's going on.
A lot of times, though, the one that gets the award is like a flame roasted chili.
Yeah.
And that's something I've noticed is flame roasting it. It just knocks that heat up a notch.
Yeah.
And I almost can't even handle it.
Okay. And that's where I'm kind of learning on this Laguna stuff, because I feel like it's like because it's a chain restaurant,
right?
But it's all local. So it's like, I think like you can find Laguna Burgers in California, I think where they started, but all the ingredients and everything. So like if you go to a Laguna Burger in California, that burger's probably not the same as a Laguna Burger in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think that's the concept.
One of my favorite things to do in the world is just you type in a place that you want to, and you just Google will recommend near me.
Yeah.
And so just, you can find it like right away. There is one in Laguna, New Mexico. There's one in Albuquerque, and there's one at the 66 Pit Stop.
All up north.
All up north.
I have no idea where Laguna, New Mexico is, though.
Laguna, it's about 45 minutes north of Albuquerque, northeast of Albuquerque.
Okay.
I had some friends that used to live on that pueblo.
Okay.
Also, some of the best fry bread I've ever had in my entire frickin' life came from Laguna.
Oh,
but
I've had some good eats up in that part. Yeah, absolutely.
We have managed to make every hour of this show about food.
Thank goodness.
I was going to mention, and I saw this yesterday.
Thank goodness.
All right.
Speaking of food.
Yeah. Speaking of food, I saw this yesterday. There's a documentary on Paramount Plus, which I'm about halfway through.
And we've talked about this before on the show, this particular thing.
Yes, about how South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker purchased Casa Bonita in Denver. It went through a whole
and
closure.
if you're not familiar, so Casa Bonita, apparently it was based off, so in the South Park cartoon, there is, I believe, at least one episode, but I think it might be multiple episodes.
It's one specifically.
Talking about going to this amazing restaurant called Casa Bonita that had like a Mexican buffet, but then they had like cliff divers and all kinds of things. And they claimed it was based off a restaurant that they experienced as a kid. Well, they turned around and bought it. It's in Colorado.
Yeah.
And then there is now, but in essence, the restaurant that's in the cartoon is now a real thing in Colorado.
Well, it was
Casa Bonita.
That's the thing. In the cartoon, it was all they didn't base it on. It was Casa Bonita.
It actually was.
It's a standard in Denver. It's like at one point, I think in the
people in Colorado.
Absolutely,
a staple in their lives.
At one point in the 80s, it was considered the most popular tourist attraction in Colorado.
Okay.
Was Casa Bonita.
I just wonder who put tacos and cliff diving together.
This documentary goes into it.
It goes into all that?
It goes into all of how kind of like basically his family inherited I think they said it used to be, it was a department store. So it's a 50,000 square foot lot. This massive, massive lot. And they built Casa Bonita on top of that. And it goes into how it's sprawling. It's like massive, like all these different hallways. It's weirdly set up how La Fonda is in Artesia, where like every nook and cranny, there's a table there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like you go along this long path and there's just tables everywhere. What they discovered when they bought it, because they bought it at auction, they bought it as is, kind of, sight unseen.
And probably need a lot of work.
Holy crap. That place is it's basically a facade that they bought. And then the rest of it has to be redone.
That's probably why it was gone from years, and it probably took someone like, well, quite frankly, has disposable income like these two do at this point in their lives to do something like this.
But there's a part in the documentary where they almost just walk away, like they just almost give up, because it's just so much that is going to require to go into this. And at one point, Trey Parker, he's just kind of contemplating it all in his head, and he just turns and goes, I guess I got to go make more shows.
Yeah. See, they do have they're just going to make more shows.
Got to go make more shows.
So are we seeing all these Paramount South Park movies because of Casa Bonita?
I actually think it's the opposite. I think we're seeing Casa Bonita because of the deal with Paramount Plus, because that gave them the disposable income to actually throw into what anybody else they said a savvy businessman would get out right now. He said, I'm no savvy businessman. But it's really fascinating. First of all, to see like all the stuff that they are putting into it, but also like how hazardous the place was. They were talking about how like the divers would like splash down right next to these like high voltage electrical lights. So at any point in time, they could just get shocked. They would dive under the water, and then they would swim up to this little cove, and it's like there's all these breaker boxes and like all these wires next to this little cove where they climb up, and everything's just dirty, and it's
OSHA wasn't a thing.
they're definitely going through it, trying to get it reconstructed.
That's on Paramount Plus, the documentary, and
it's called Casa Bonita Mi Amor.
Okay, I'm going to check it out because I just haven't yet.
Which is funny because, and I know you got to get to the interview, but it's really funny because the Casa Bonita Mi Amor is actually a reference to an Elvis movie. I can't remember which one. It's one of the ones where he goes to Mexico, and he sings this song, Más Cerveza Mi Amor, or something like that, and that becomes in Trey's head the theme song for Casa Bonita Mi Amor. And he decides he's going to like remake it all by like with Elvis tunes and stuff.
I like it.
It's really good. Good.
Why those guys are millionaires, being creative. They're good at that. All right, we're going to replay our interview we had with the fine folks from Carabelli Dental. Doctors Keon and Sarah joined us, give us an update what's happening out there. So we'll play that here in just a bit. But first, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll do that on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
It's almost time for the Eastern New Mexico State Fair in Roswell. H.F. Sinclair invites you to attend the fair for all the fun and excitement it brings. From the concerts and shows to the livestock shows and 4-H sale to the food and model trains. The Pecos Valley Model Railroad giant HO scale train layout has been in operation at the fair since 1983. The train layout is inside the exhibit building in the fair, and trains are operating every day. H.F. Sinclair is a proud supporter of the Pecos Valley Model Railroad and hopes to see you at this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair, September 30th through October 5th.
What? My trade's gotta be worth more than this! Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas, don't get hit hard by low trade offers. Right now, the all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade. That means you'll get top dollar for your trade. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR or no payments till 2025. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand financed on select models. No payments till 2025. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Carabelli Dental, Dr. Sarah Usher and Dr. Keon Agar back with us. Good morning, guys.
Happy to be here.
Hi, good morning.
How's life at the old dental hut this morning?
Life is good. Life
Wouldn't
is
that be
good.
cool if they had that, like the old 1 hour photo from back in the day, the dental hut? You come
dental hut.
You know, especially for like dentures, like 1 hour dentures. Just drop off your dentures, come back an hour later, they're all
ready to go.
Spruced up, ready to go.
So we were coming up with our name for our office. We could have.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Sarah still teases me about it all the time, but we Carabelli Dental is not someone's name. It's a part of a tooth.
Okay.
And we kind of picked it at a time where there was all this weird stuff going around with people suing each other for names across state lines, all this stuff. So we were kind of really worried about picking a name that.
So you kind of wanted something.
We wanted
like,
no one else. No one else.
A little out of left field here.
So no one else had ever done it. So we were like, okay, let's pick that. And so we came with a list of names, and one of them was Carabelli Dental, and that was actually Sarah's recommendation. My contribution was Tooth Town.
Tooth Town.
Tooth Town.
I'm gonna take you to Tooth Town.
Tooth Town. And I don't know how Tooth Town did not make the final cut.
Oh my God.
We're going to Tooth Town.
It reminds me, I don't know if you've ever been to Tinkertown up in the Sandia Mountains on the backside. It's like this, just like this house with like a bunch of knickknacks just everywhere. And I'm just thinking to Ken, I was like, they're going to walk in, they're going to think there's teeth just like everywhere in like the back room.
I would not only hope, I'd expect it.
Oh my gosh.
Little do they know what the walls are full of.
What happens to those teeth once they're removed?
Sorry, since it's almost October, we have to do a little bit of a creepy episode, right?
Well, see, that would be a marketing ploy. See, these teeth are so strong, it's hold the building up. If I can make these teeth do that, what can I do for you?
Do you see the support beam here?
You can do like the old school Crazy Glue commercials where the guys like put his helmet to you do all that, but with dental related things.
Yes.
I'm smelling a marketing campaign here.
You guys are making me nervous.
We'll sedate you. It'll be fine.
Hush, hush, Sarah.
I can always tell, like, Sarah's like, she's like, okay, we're going to have a normal interview. We get on here, talk to Mike, have a normal, reasonable discussion. And I think it took us 20 seconds to go off the rail. Today was quick.
Well, I'm in a good mood. My football team's good again, so I'm happy. I'm a Commanders fan.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Have you always been
Yes.
always been
I'm from D.C.
Okay,
That's where I'm from. And so
because I'm like, it's weird to say the Commanders. That's strange.
I grew up when the Redskins were amazing. I was in the time when Joe Theismann and John Riggins. That was when I coming of age in life and was becoming a Redskins fan. So I've bled burgundy and gold my whole life.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're really good this year.
And then Dan Snyder bought the team in the 90s, and that was 20 years of. He basically took a storied, top-tiered franchise and turned it to the toilet of the league.
Oh my gosh.
And now we're like, people are talking to us like back, and I don't know what to do with my hands. It's
Yeah.
We don't suck anymore.
Yay!
We don't suck.
So
that's a win in itself. But no, they're actually. I think it's crazy that. How did you feel about the name change? Did it bother you?
I don't like it.
Did it lessen your fanhood?
You're gonna call them whatever they are. They're my team.
Okay. Still the team. Cool. Yeah.
However,
So what if they had moved towns? Would they still be your team? Like like baseball teams do that, and
the Raiders.
Like the Raiders did that. Yeah. If they had moved towns, would they still be your team?
Well, and here's the rub. I can give you an example in reverse in a little bit here, because growing up in Maryland, when I grew up in Maryland, D.C. area,
Baltimore.
D.C. did not have a baseball team. So I kind of grew up as an Orioles fan.
Yeah.
Because that was the team I have is Orioles. And Cal Ripken, he's a god to me. And everything else. However, now D.C.'s got a team, and I like I kind of lean like if I'm not a big baseball fan, so sure. But if someone held a gun to my head, I'm going to say Nationals.
Sure.
But don't get me wrong, I'm going to root for the Orioles just as hard as I do.
Right.
And if they were, if they were either in the World Series, which they both have, and I'm rooting for them, if they play each other,
that's a hard one.
That's where it gets a little dicey. Depending on my mood in that day and who's higher up and better at the moment, probably.
Sure.
But yes, but. I don't know in football, man. I don't know. That's different because my love for that team is way different than any other DC.
Because it came from being from DC or being in DC, right?
Well, to be honest, I'm going to stop because we're here to talk about teeth.
Sure, but I got to get back to Tooth Town.
But the Washington Redskins were purchased in 1937 from Boston. They were the Boston Braves.
Okay,
and then they were the Brave. Then the name was changed to the Redskins. So they've been the Washington Redskins since 1937. So
I think that you'd have to, even if they did move towns, just to circle back, you'd have to still support them, and they'd still be your team. You know all the history about it. It is the team, right? I mean, that's really what it is.
And that's what and to be honest, I don't think I think it would be a situation like the Browns, whereas if DC's team moved, they would insist that all of the history stays with the team.
Right.
So whatever team comes back to DC, it would be the Commanders again.
Interesting.
And so if they move to another city, they become the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Like what the Browns did.
Yes. Right.
So,
makes sense. Yeah.
Just a thought. Anyway, we're done talking football.
Yeah. So speaking of brown teeth, I'm trying to think, how do we segue back into this? Yeah, totally. I was like, naturally.
Yeah. I was doing the same thing. I was like,
let's just say,
sports cards.
If after a weekend of football and you're coming in Monday morning and your teeth because you've been grinding and gnashing your teeth because you're, I don't know,
Your team lost.
A Giants fan.
That is wow! You hit home. You hit home.
Well, it's tough to be a Giants fan.
Man. You were talking about, hey, my team doesn't suck anymore. Let me tell you where me and my husband are right now.
I gotta respect.
Tough
It's
games.
I almost I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I almost root for them just because their fans are so dedicated. Have not won anything in decades.
This is why I root against the Cowboys.
No, because I'm like, I used to be like, Cowboys. Now I'm like, man, I almost want them to do well just because
their fans
all
are
the
so
people I know who are their
dedicated.
fans are so dedicated, are like so passionate about their Cowboys, and I'm like, and everybody is, but I'm like, man, it's just every year, it's like.
I'm sure there's a few people
tough.
every game who lose a few teeth over a Cowboys loss.
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
certainly the electronic stores make money. I've seen enough TVs get smashed. I'm sure there's a few dental injuries to go in there.
I bet. Yeah.
Like something bounce off the TV and right in the grill.
Oh my gosh.
But here, all joking aside and all that, this is the point of what we want to tell you here is whatever dental surgery or dental work you need, whether you come 6 months like clockwork, whether you haven't seen a dentist since let's just say
Since
last
the Cowboys won the last Super Bowl.
Yeah, or maybe last time. Yeah, or maybe last time. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Yeah, that's a really long time. That's last Cowboys Super Bowl's a long.
Could be worse. Last time
Yeah.
the Washington Commanders won us. I was in high school when that happened. So.
We've been doing a lot of fun stuff in the office, so we've had a lot of really interesting cases come through, and there's been a lot of situations where people have come in and they're getting ready for these. People are going to football games. People are going to be hanging out with the family over the weekends.
Milestones
holidays.
in life.
Exactly. Yeah. It's fall. Everyone's doing photo shoots these days. Out in the pumpkin patches and things like that.
Eating season coming up.
It's true. It's true. So I feel like the fall time, winter time seasons have a lot to do with like making sure you're looking good and you can eat correct and things like that.
Plus, you're getting closer with family again and stuff, and yeah.
Mom always wants that photo. Grandma always wants this photo.
And if anybody's going to be getting on to you about your health, it's your family. You know what I mean?
Right.
Are you taking care of your teeth?
What did I
Look at
tell
your teeth.
you?
And they say,
I think the for me, when I look at the end of the year and I think about like the holiday season and stuff, it's really more about like it's on the end of the year, you kind of celebrate it, you bring together all your family, all this stuff come together, create a lot of memories. And I've got a couple patients that right now, one of the biggest things they came in were like, I want to have teeth by Christmas. And a lot of times you're like, hey, before my birthday or before this time. But they were just like, I want to have teeth before Christmas. And so we're like, yeah, we can get that going. So
I know that's awesome goal and that's cool, but now all I can think of is that song from your.
That's true.
It's my two front
I may or may not have
It's a true desire though. So shout out to Mark, patient Mark, if he's listening. You know who you are, from England, right? And he's here and he lives here. But anyways, long story short, that's exactly what he told his mom. He said, Mom, I'm going to come back and I'm going to come home to visit and I'm going to have new teeth. And she's like, I don't believe you. Like, what are you talking about? So we did, what we do is, sometimes you hear it as like teeth in a day, right?
Yeah.
So there's some certain situations where people, have situations where your teeth are breaking, your teeth are failing. You don't even have enough teeth that we can save or, do caps on or anything like that. So what we do is we essentially design a whole new smile for patients. And Mark is one of those patients. And he told his mom, I'm coming home with teeth for Christmas. And we just completed treatment with him with sedation dentistry. He slept very well through the procedure, woke up a new person, a new set of teeth. It was in a day process time. And he FaceTimed his mom later that week. And his mom was just amazed. He was like, I thought you were kidding me. Like, because Mark's a funny guy. Like, he likes to joke around and stuff.
Sure.
So
got a British sense of humor.
Yes. And so anyways, he got on the FaceTime with his mom and his mom is crying in England that now his son has teeth and her son has teeth. It's just amazing. So this was like his gift to his mom and it's like, he's like, I can't wait to go home. Like, I'm so excited.
And in that story you're telling, it's because like when people have issues in their mouth, it creates embarrassment. It creates lack of confidence issues.
Absolutely.
It creates so many mental health things.
It's true.
And so
when that thing that they're embarrassed about, the thing that they've been trying to hide from the public, is not a thing they have to hide anymore.
Exactly.
You don't understand that freedom that they now are experiencing. It's it's almost like we've all told the white lie in our lives at some point. It's like when the truth shall set you free. It's that same. I feel lifted. I feel like I don't have to hide anymore. And so at the end of the day, yes, the teeth and the functioning and to be able to eat and is an amazing gift. But the real gift is now this person can live their life any way they want to without that lingering over.
And I think the main word you mentioned was confidence, right? When we have the confidence to go out and, do basic, life things, have a higher quality of life. I mean, that's what it's really about. You're right. We talk about teeth a lot, but it really translates to the whole perspective of life, know? So, yeah, I agree with you. So we're happy for Mark and all our patients who come through who, really experience that wonderful result. And we're so blessed to be able to work with everyone. And
that's the beauty of it.
Relationships
is you guys do this on a daily basis. You're helping people and for folks that are thinking, of course, insurance works with a lot on this, but if you don't, this is the thing is you guys work with people. You can make this affordable. You can say, so, if you're like, okay, I don't know if I can afford this, but this is something that's life changing. You're like, no, we'll find the way to afford it. We can work numbers. We can make magic happen there. Well, at the end of the day, we want you to come out of this with a better life.
Exactly. And a healthier, a healthier life as well. That's another perspective.
Yeah.
There's really, it's a lot of the stuff we do is, it's just, it keeps it, you just keep working hard, right? You keep working hard. Like Sarah just got back from training. She went down to Brazil and trained with one of the, it was funny. I was
trainings in these amazing beach.
No, but I don't think it was in a beach. I don't think it was beach. But it's another part of Brazil. I didn't realize. So we're sitting there talking about it.
It was that eastern part of Brazil.
We're sitting there talking about it, and she's like talking about this guy Robert that she went and trained with, and kept calling him Robert. And I'm like, who's this Robert guy? And he was like, oh, this guy. And she pulls out the textbook, the book. Right?
This is the Robert.
The book, right?
He's the guy
he was like, I don't know his last name. I don't know how to pronounce it either. But she's like, oh no, this guy. And I'm like, you mean the guy who wrote the book on this? Right. I was like, you went down to train.
It's like Alexander Graham Bell showed up at the phone convention,
it's amazing. But yeah, exactly. It's like I was like, that was so funny because she kept talking about these guys, this Robert guy she went to train with, blah, blah. And then she pulls that, she's like, oh no, this guy. And I'm like, holy moly! Like I didn't realize that's who you're training with, like the guy who everybody else references, right?
It's almost like those videos you see online of their mom met somebody kind of famous. This Nick guy, it's like Nick Cage,
exactly, exactly, yeah,
Nicholas,
exactly.
yeah. But it's interesting because then but what I think is so cool is that, and Sarah, I know she experienced the same thing, where we can go take that stuff and actually apply it, right? Make a difference in someone's life. It just makes our jobs really fun. We have a lot of fun doing that. And to be able to go take that type of information, learning from someone who's a master, and then bring it to patients. And
then bring it to a place let's face it, Roswell, New Mexico. Yeah. Because I'm going to guess when we talk about some of these procedures, people think, oh, well, you got to go to New York, you got to go to Dallas, where you got to go to get something like that.
It's true.
There's
go right up the street by the convention center.
Right here, yes.
There's only 3 places in all of New Mexico that do what we're doing right now. And of those 3 places, we are offering, and not to brag or anything, it just is what it is.
Sure.
You're right. Before 10 years ago, you had to go to Dallas, go to LA, go to Las Vegas, go to New York. Or Florida. That was it. There's a lot of these things, and I've referred patients. Back in the day, there are certain things that we're doing now that I literally told patients, you need to go to New York to get this done, and they did. And so nowadays we're able to do these things, and so Sarah, we're able to go train with these people and actually offer things that basically no one, not only in, I love the dentists here in South New Mexico. We have a lot of really good relationship with them. There's some fantastic dentists. Shout out to Smile Expression, our
I would
They're
probably be honest, they could probably use a few more in town to service the real needs of this entire community.
There are some incredible dentists around here, and I think sometimes you think, well, we're in a rural area, you kind of get what you get. No, when you're talking about offices like Smile Expression, our teacher, you're talking about offices like Moppet and Brown, you're talking offices like Brightview Dental up north. Like they're actually really phenomenally talented dentists who are running really great operations.
You're in good hands with all
good
these
dentists
folks.
down here. Yeah. And so, you don't always get that. It's surprising how much you don't get that everywhere else, but everybody assumes you go to a big city, you get better care. And I would actually argue that you don't always get that.
And if you do get it, you had to get on a waiting list, and you had to, it's a whole
it came to my attention recently when I had a patient that was referred, saw like 4 different people up in Albuquerque, and then someone called me and they're like, hey, do you guys do stuff like this? Because none of the guys who do this type of stuff can treat this patient. I saw the x-ray and we looked at it and we're like, yeah, we do that, routinely. And so now that patient's going to come down and get work done in Roswell. And, and I know it sounds kind of weird to me saying that, but not a lot of people are doing this. It's a whole amount of infrastructure. You have to go down to Brazil and train with Robert,
Right.
It's true. And not just once. How many times have you been down there?
At least 3 at this point, I think. Yeah.
But that's
she got a flat down there.
Yeah.
In Brazil.
At this point, but
tour guide right here.
But it's an investment in like what's the final result, right? It's like you go. If we didn't do all this training and stuff, then we wouldn't be able to. Someone walk in the door and said, "Hey, we can't treat you. Got to send you somewhere else. We got to send you to New York."
And I think that's what's awesome is because, and Keon mentioned it earlier, that we have referred people out for certain things because we don't feel like we're the experts in that area, right?
Sure.
But with the training and with our team and not only do we get trained, we train our team as well.
Yeah.
So they're a huge component of this. And not only, it's not just we come in and talk about teeth. When patients come in, we build this relationship because we have to understand what are their goals as well, right?
Absolutely.
So when we do that, it's building this relationship and it's more of like, let's work it together.
Sure.
And with our, the professional team that we have and getting the ideas from the patient, from their family, then we can come together and we feel confident now in providing this treatment, right? So everything that we do in our office is because we know that we can provide the best results possible from our end.
Yeah.
And patients really enjoy, working with us in that way.
Something because I had both of you in my mouth doing things. Not a joke. They've been my dentist.
It's real. This is not a funny.
Mike.
But I can say this from that perspective.
Hopefully your wife doesn't listen to this. Yeah,
they both have been in my wife's mouth too. Don't get me wrong.
Just one big happy family.
but from that perspective, I can say, when there are things that are going on, and you guys are really good at just explaining, put it at ease, and let's face it, I'm going to argue of all medical procedures, one of the one that people complain, fear, least want to visit is the dentist.
It's true.
It's just, and so you guys, that going in, already dealing with that negativity, you guys come in and make that you flip that.
Yes.
Flip it, and where you get to the point, it's like, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it in phases. It's going to be this, on this one, it's not going to be an overnight fix. We're going to do layer 1 here, and then we get to that, and then we can get to, but at the end game here, it's going to be this, and this is the process, and you really explain that to them, and you put, and I think that's 99% of people's fear about dentists is they don't know what's going to happen. They're like, there's going to be someone standing over me with sharp, pointy things in my mouth. Right. That's all I know.
But imagine,
and telling me I didn't floss good.
Exactly. Now you're like, okay, I know exactly what's going on. I kind of know. All right, this is the part that's going to get a little tense, or this is the part that's kind of chill. Yes. And like I said, if you really have that fear, that anxiety, sedate, and obviously, we'll do that anyway, but we can make it so, or if your brain can't wrap behind it, we can put you in a place where you don't have to worry about it.
It's serious though. Take the anxiety away.
Yeah.
Patients have come in and they say, I cannot do this. This is just too much. I'm anxious. I had a bad experience. But the sedation part of what we do just really provides an opportunity for patients to get the care they need and want, honestly.
And trust me, the end result, the thing that you've been either coping with, and this is, I just remembered a story real quick. I got to tell you this because it's dental related.
Sure.
It just goes to this people's, to solve their own needs, to avoid a little bit of uncomfort or something they built in their head.
Yeah.
I had a friend growing up as a kid, high school. He's my age. His dad had such a fear of dentists that he would get like Lee press-on nails.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And paint and artistically and literally
put them on his teeth.
Yes, he would do these things because
he had
my
such
goodness.
a fear of going to get the problems fixed
Yes.
that he went to those lengths to correct them.
And to avoid the dentist.
I get it. Fear can go. That's what I'm trying to tell you is let's have a conversation.
Exactly.
Especially if you're in that place where you're so adamant that you're concocting things to try to navigate life.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, people like that, you wouldn't be the first to walk into our office. That's what we're saying. Because we've worked with different individuals with different phobias or anxieties or fears even.
Mm-hmm.
The first visit doesn't have to be, let's get in your mouth and look around. I mean, we can have a conversation first and kind of figure out what the next steps are. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I think that, one of the things is, it's not only a fear of dentists, because it's totally reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I would say is what other field of medicine expects you to sit there for 2 hours during a procedure, wide awake, staring at the person doing the surgery?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's a bit odd.
Because honestly, I know we
I don't like people staring at me when I'm doing surgery.
And crowns, but
if I had my druthers, you could knock me out for a haircut.
Well, if
you just put me to sleep. Your hair's cut, sir. I don't have that problem now.
I was just saying, I was like, Mike, you go to haircuts?
Yeah. What? I don't need hair.
No, but it's reasonable. I mean, imagine be like, hey, you need this knee replacement. So we're just gonna numb you and do it. We're gonna replace your knee. Like, no big deal.
And then they bust out the saws and all these tools. That
you hear, and then imagine you're laying there and you hear them cutting the knee bone off.
Mm-hmm.
In two places, and then
it's
drilling
the new Stanley on the side of your drill there. What is that?
It's crazy to me. It really it blows my mind that we accept that in dentistry. And patients, we got to be really tough to sit there, for that long to get a bunch of work done. I really commend patients who can do that. I would not want to do that personally. Like, now that I know, I'm like, why would I want to sit through that? Why don't I want to experience that?
Sure.
No.
And so patients are, one, really, really tough, but it's not about being tough. It's the reality is, like, this is a procedure.
Sure.
Like, you don't need to be awake for it. Like, no one's awake during cataract surgery.
No.
Right? They put you out. I mean, sure, maybe LASIK, or they give you something a little bit, but actually, like, removing, doing sutures in your eyeball and cutting things and doing brain surgery, so
you go nighty-night and wake up later.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So and then, but so that's one side of things.
Shoot, they
just
put cameras up places you don't want to. They knock me out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and I'm
it's a
thankful
small
for
little
that.
camera. Yeah. the other side of the digestive system. But at the same time, it's also there's a fear of, and I think it's totally, again, a reasonable fear of finding out something bad. Right? You haven't been to the dentist in a while. You kind of feel like something's wrong. There's problems. Sometimes you just like.
But in your head, you built it up into it's a death sentence.
Maybe know it's bad, but you're just kind of like, you don't like bad news. No one likes bad news, right? Yeah. It makes you feel bad. Doesn't and then you're like, oh, I gotta figure it out and all this stuff. And so, there's a lot of reasons to be afraid of going to the dentist, which are all valid, right? Which is one of the reasons why we,
That's why I'm kind of like, from my perspective, like, you guys really do that. You just make it. It's like you said, all of your staff, all of your your hygienists and everybody in that building are really just nice people, just talking. And when you do have those fears, I've seen people come in apprehensive or whatever, and you guys really do say, hey, this is easy, man. We got this. This is what we do. I'm telling you, we do this 1,000 times. You're going to have a very easy experience. You're going to, when it's all said and done, you're like, that wasn't that big a deal.
Right.
Exactly.
That's exactly how you guys.
I used to think that when we were doing, we learned sedation and stuff. I don't know. I had it in my mind that you were just only seeing patients who were just irrationally feared and kind of, really over the top scared of dentistry, right? And as we went along, I realized that there's so much more to that, right? It's like, do I want to be awake while someone's drilling holes in my skull and placing screws in there?
Sure.
Not really.
You as the dentist are sitting in the chair going, how would I react if I was doing this to me?
No, absolutely. I'm like, why would I want to be awake for that? Like, no one rational want to be awake for that, right? And so it's like, hey, let's just make this like a humanistic approach to getting your dental work done, and then remove that barrier, right? Make it a positive experience, right? So you have a good experience, and then you actually want to come back and actually get stuff done, right?
Absolutely.
Then it becomes easy. Then it's routine. Let's just clean the teeth. That's all it is after that.
And to be honest, it's easier when you do it. The fear is the unknown part.
Exactly.
Now it's known, so I'm not scared of it anymore. We're going to go in. Keanu crack a couple dumb jokes. We'll get some dumb things.
We're done.
We'll do our thing.
but it's true. You know,
Someone else commented on the jokes that he does.
As a purveyor of dumb jokes, I can do that.
I always joke that like the worst
He
part
always
of
thinks he's so funny.
No, I always joke. I every day I joke that like the worst part of the appointment is usually having to listen to my bad jokes until you fall asleep. So
my only part is like, does he expect me to reply? I don't think I should say anything right now. I'm just like, I was like, I got stuff to say, but I probably shouldn't say it.
Just, move the eyeballs around a little bit. I hear what you're saying.
That's my problem, is because I'm a talker, and I'm like, I really need to talk.
No, so we really enjoy what we do, and
it shows. As a guy that rolls in every 6 months, whether I need to or not.
Good job.
It's a pleasant experience. It's just you guys, and to be honest, very thorough. Everything else, like I think not that but this, like, since my time at you for the years I've been under you guys' umbrella, it's like, I don't know how to put this without sounding bad, but it's like I felt more medically, like full medically in the dentist's office,
like comprehensive care.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like, okay, what about the other part? You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was like like X-rays, and I know you have your signs of we take a lot of X-rays, but I remember I thought I was in a dang photo shoot the first time I got in there. I was like,
well, you were for your team.
Like, what, they do this side. And now they're like, all right, now strike a pose. Demi's happy.
Let's see that canine.
But
but that photo shoot came out really great. I saw that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm joking. But my point is, it's the first time I've felt like that. It's like
thorough.
Yes, exactly. Like, hey, they're thinking about things I'm not thinking about.
We get that compliment quite often. That's something that I'm glad you brought that up. But people say, "Well, no one's ever done this," and we're doing basic, measurements of the gums, or no one's ever done this, and we're doing like an oral cancer check, or things like that. So I appreciate that people are recognizing and noticing the importance of these things, because we do take the time to do it because it's important and we know why. But when people value what we're doing, that's what makes a difference.
Sure.
So I think that's really good.
We get patients sometimes that are like, well, I don't want X-rays. Well, why not? Well, my last dentist, didn't take X-rays, and I don't really need them. And I'm like, okay.
Well, they're not for you, they're for me.
And that's a big reason that you need them right
so
now.
I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, so I was like, well, we have this other option, which is an 8-ball, and then we're just going to shake up. This is going to randomly tell us what might be going on with your mouth.
Right.
Or we can actually look, and we try to educate people about this is why, right?
Sure.
Because a lot of
like saying, here, fix my car. Here's a pen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
I don't want you to do the diagnostic part on it, but can you fix my car? You know, don't do the diagnostics. Just it's this noise. Fix it.
But it's understandable. I think we see a lot of that. What you were talking about, where it's like kind of, well, I've been going to the same guy for forever, and he just kind of lets me do this, which is fine. But at the same time, like, if I know that I should be treating someone well, right? There's a certain standard that I should be treating you as, and which is the same standard I would treat my own mother, right? Well, let's talk about it. Let's figure out why. What are the barriers? Are you worried about this? Well, let's talk about it. Because if, like I said, if I would do the same thing for my wife or my mother, then I believe I want to make sure that you're being treated, correctly.
And that's something we didn't get to touch on here, but I kind of. That just triggered there is you are part of the equation. You, the patient. That's something like you talk to them. It's like, well, what are you trying to do here? It's like, okay, it's kind of like all right, you just want a point where you can eat and live your life normal again. We don't need to. You're not going to be knowing through barbed wire with these things, right? We don't need to supervise. You know what I mean? You're like talking about what are you trying to do with this? What is the lifestyle? What's going on? What can we do to make that part easier for you? So, like how you treat a patient, maybe like you get two different people. They may have the same condition, but you might treat it completely different based on what they're trying to do at the end game.
Exactly. Each patient is individualized. Yeah, it's the bottom line. And
we have fun.
Yeah, we do have fun. And I know that there's, I don't want anyone to be bashful about calling the office. Call the office.
Yes.
And
visit the website, do some research. You got all kinds of stories and information about what you guys do.
Yes.
So you can kind of, if you love to read and love to get as much you can before you walk in there.
Yes.
Go to the website and you can. There's testimonials, there's videos, and all kinds of things.
The team does great. The patients walk in the door. The focus is on the patient right in front of them, and that's why I'm saying call the office if you don't get through to talk to someone immediately. Leave a message.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely people who are managing all those phone lines. But as you mentioned too, you walk in the door. It's a family type of feeling. We're making you feel welcome, and we look forward to meeting you. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Give out the phone number.
575-622-4455.
And the website.
CaraBellyDental.com.
There you go.
Yeah. But we've the Sarah
now you're going
to
be CARABELLI
Dental.
I got it in my head, but I'm like, a lot of repeat letters in there.
I was like, why didn't we just do CD? And I think maybe we tried, but that's gone.
I'm pretty sure that's CD. Their CDs are going to be.
Put it this way:
too.
that word was on Wheel of Fortune. You're going to lose money because you're winning all on violence.
Good call.
Fair.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but we have an amazing team, and they always say, like, if you're the smartest person in the room, like, you're in the wrong room, right? Well, I feel fortunate that we work with some amazing people on our team, and I'm definitely not the smartest person in the room because those.
Because you feel like you're in the right place.
Oh, I'm in the right place, man. They are smart.
It's a good
as a guy at a mostly female run office. I am very lucky because they basically run the whole show, and they kind of tell me where to go.
Point your head.
Just kind of keep pointing me in the right direction.
There's always been that joke, like in a family, it's like the man's the head of the family. But the story I always hear, but the wife is the neck.
Yeah,
and that's where it turns the head on which way to go.
I like it.
I basically get told where to go and what to do, and they
and how much time you have to say funny jokes.
Yeah, I usually gotta start getting the look. It's like, dude, do you really? This story's a long one. You don't need to tell it.
He's like, 3 guys walking over. I guess the neck starts moving it there.
Like, Dr. You have time for the short story, not the long one.
That's right. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much.
Give us a
thank
call.
You for having
We'd love
us.
to see you.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time here. And folks, trust me, go talk to them. If you're dealing with teeth stuff and you've been dealing for a long time, stop. Let's have a conversation. Let's make you happy again. You don't realize how other aspects of your life are being ruined because you're trying to cope with it. 7, we got time to play a little commercials, to pay for a little lunch, and then
$83 million for the week of September 21st. Some manufacturers and retailers are urging President Biden to invoke a 1947 law as a way to suspend a strike by 45,000 dock workers that has shut